guys you expect to be up front at a road course are here. Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin. But Rusty experienced problems last year. And Mark Martin starts all the way back in 26, but he was among the fastest in practice. Terry Labonte also has a lot of ground to make up, starting 29. While his teammate and defending Winston Cup champ Jeff Gordon is on the pole and on a roll, looking for his second straight road course win. And Gordon hopes to duplicate Martin's feat of last year, winning from the pole position here at Sears Point. But the road course specialists have dug themselves quite a hole. The farthest back anyone started and won is 13th, Davey Allison in 91. So the charge to the front should make things very exciting.
Dale Jarrett's resume is missing a road course win. A win today could move him closer to the championship. Bobby Labonte is on a roll, but in the past, this place has sent his season into a tailspin. Jeremy Mayfield has had very limited success on road courses, but now he's the points leader and a Winston Cup winner. Could Jeremy's next impressive feat come here? Mayfield is just one of several drivers that posted impressive runs in qualifying. Now, can they leave an impression here at Sears Point today? Jerry Nadeau, Bobby Hamilton, Kyle Petty, Rick Mask, Tom Hubert, Michael Waltrip, Kenny Irwin Jr., and Joe Nemechek all start in the top 15. Staying there will be tough. Equipment and experience are the keys that unlock the secrets to success in road course racing. Youthful enthusiasm and desire count for a lot. But this is wine country, where older is usually smoother and better. You can't judge a race by qualifying, and you can't judge wine by the facts. Often, you have to get to the end to know if it was as good as it looked before you started.
From the Sonoma Valley of California, about 45 miles north of San Francisco. It's NASCAR Winston Cup Racing, the Save Mart Kragen 350 from Sears Point Raceway. After 15 events in the 98 season, here are the point standings. A great battle for the point lead as 4 drivers are within 53 points. But now take a look at the starting positions for these drivers in the top 10. Some of these guys have a lot of work cut out for them. They're starting in the second half of the field and have got to get to the front. Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Jenkins. Welcome to Sonoma. A lot of things to watch for in this race. Not only those guys moving up from the rear of the field, but as Dr. Jerry Punch said, a brand new racetrack, Ned.
Yeah, it's new. It's much shorter, as Jerry said, and a new challenge for the drivers. This used to be a 12-turn road course, and some of the drivers still say it is. But they've taken out 2 critical turns, turns 5 and 6. That's the gray area inside the marking. The white area around was the new course, and that gray area, they've taken that out now, Ben, which will present quite a challenge to the drivers.
I think it will. You know, this chute, here's the way the racetrack used to go. It used to come down here up to turn 7. As you can see, now the racetrack goes completely across. That's the chute. But I'm really concerned about the chute in this area. Is very, very wide. I think they could fit 10 cars abreast, side by side. Right here's Up here's the area I'm concerned about. When those 10 cars come side by side, or 2 or 3 cars come side by side, it's got to get down to one lane. I've been trying to find some way to describe all that funneling down. They call it the funnel. We call it the tube. We call it the drain pipe, the spigot. But I think I got the best one this morning.
What's that?
The main squeeze.
They will have to squeeze down into one lane to come through those S's after that very wide chute area. Well, as you can see, the drivers are getting in their cars now, and we'll be going racing here before too long. 112 laps here on this brand new configuration in the Save Mart Kragen 350. ESPN Speed World today at Sears Point Raceway in Sonoma, California. And we're being brought to you by Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more champions trust. By Daytona USA, the ultimate motorsports attraction. By Jiffy Lube, America's complete preventative fluid maintenance service provider every 3,000 miles. And by ESPN Video. Get your officially licensed NASCAR videos from ESPN Video. Right now, we're here on the Deuce because golf over on ESPN is in a playoff, and so for those of you who have tuned in to see the X Games, please stay with us because just as soon as the golf is over, we will be going to ESPN, and you can see the X Games here on the Deuce. There's the beautiful overhead shot of this race course here in the absolutely gorgeous Sonoma Valley. Let's get out to Jerry Punch.
Defending series champion Jeff Gordon picked up his 5th pole of the year. And Jeff, you were opted to start on the outside of row 1 as opposed to the inside. Why is that?
Well, really, the first left-hander really isn't even a turn. To me, the first turn is the right-hander at the top of the hill. So I'd rather be on the inside when we get there. Hopefully, I will be.
Chairman and CEO.
All right, they're getting ready to give the command here, and Jeff will get ready to fire. And by the way, he has a glove on his right hand, but underneath that glove, he has put a lot of tape on that right hand so he can grab the shifter better. He said he got blisters last week at Pocono from shifting, and they shift 12 times a lap here today. As the engines fire, let's go to Bill Weber.
And the engines are roaring to life. And here's one engine everybody probably should keep an eye on today. We know him as Rick, but his team has nicknamed him Nigel Mast for this race. An outstanding qualifying effort for Rick Mast. We wanted to put a little pressure on him, so we told him Earnhardt's behind him, Wallace is behind him, Martin is behind him, Rudd is behind him, Dollenbach is behind him, Kendall is behind him. Almost everybody is behind Rick Mast. He starts 7th here in just moments. Let's go to John Kernan.
One of the guys who has won here, in fact, Rusty Wallace, who started from the 11th position and won, but he starts all the way back in the 28th spot. They have problems in qualifying. His qualifying run in second round would have put him into the top 15. He has the net up. He's ready to go to work. Rusty says they may have to do something drastic, like try some pit strategy, like short pitting, something like that, and then hope for a caution to get their place at the front of the pack.
Well, the engines are fired, and in just a few moments, we will be set to go racing. 112 laps. That converts to 218 miles on this 1.95-mile race course, Sonoma, California, and Sears Point Raceway. We'll be back to introduce the starting lineup to you in just a moment. Welcome back to Sears Point Raceway, the new Sears Point, and that area right there that you're seeing from the Pennzoil copter cam is the chute, and look how wide it is. But now they're going to go around this corner, and they're going to funnel down into what Benny is calling the main squeeze.
Right there, exactly right there is the main squeeze.
Well, today's field consists of 23 Fords. And the worst starting position for a winner was Davey Allison back in 1991. He came from 13th, but boy, we got a lot of people back of 13th today that are very, very capable of winning this race. 23 Fords, 14 Chevys, and 6 Pontiacs are in today's field. And right now, Ford is on top of the Manufacturers' Championship by 5 points. Let's take a look now at the starting lineup. The Walmart EverStart lineup. On the pole is Jeff Gordon. His first road course pole, his 5th in the last 7 races. Jerry Nadeau, his first NASCAR Winston Cup road race. He chose the inside position. Dale Jarrett, 9 top 3 finishes in the last 12 NASCAR Winston Cup races. And Jeff Bodine, who was the 93 winner at this facility. Jeremy Mayfield will start in 5th position. He was a provisional last year. And Bobby Hamilton, his best road course finish was 14th at Sears Point in 95. Starting 7th will be Kyle Petty, seeking his first top 10 of 98. Rick Mast also in that row. In the 5th row, Bobby Labonte from Corpus Christi, Texas. He has 4 road course top 10s this year. And Tom Hubert, his second NASCAR Winston Cup start. He raced last year here at this facility. Michael Waltrip and Kenny Irwin Jr., the top rookie contender, are back in row number 6. And the 7th row has Darrell Waltrip in car number 1 and Joe Nemechek.
In row 8, Ricky Rudd has won a lot of races at Sears Point alongside Sterling Marlin. In row 9, Dale Earnhardt. He's 1 year at Sears Point along with Robbie Gordon. His first start in 1998 in the NASCAR Winston Cup. In row 10, Johnny Benson and Ted Musgrave.
And we take a look at the rest of the starting lineup. The cars are moving up through the area of turns 1 and 2. And we've mentioned this several times during the weekend, but this is a very steep elevation change from down at the starting line to where they are right now.
This is Jeff Gordon said when we interviewed him just a moment ago, he feels like on the start of the race, that is the first corner, that they can go through that left-hander wide open because they won't be up at top speed. And when they get up to turn 2, that right-hander, he wants to be at the preferred position on the inside. That's why he chose to start on the right side of the front row.
You saw the 17 car there by Ron Hornaday in the lineup. That's the new Tim Beverly team that was purchased from Darrell Waltrip earlier in the year. Now you're seeing the drivers who are the provisional starters. Butch Gilliland from the Winston West Series is driving for Lake Speed, who crashed here during the weekend and just doesn't feel up to it. He's okay. He's out of the hospital, but just feels like he should sit out today's race. Now let's take a look at the 4 drivers who have missed the field. But Tommy Kendall, who missed the field in car number 46, will be in today's lineup driving the 91 car.
Take a look at our onboard cameras today. The 91 car, Tommy Kendall, the first union on board. He's starting back in 42nd spot. Wally Dallenbach will be carrying our Budweiser onboard camera starting in 37th spot. That was quite a surprise. Everyone thought Hornaday would be up. Hornaday would be up farther than that. Also Dallenbach. Hornaday, the Napa onboard, 33rd. And then here's the real surprise. Rusty Wallace, the Miller Lite onboard camera, started back in 28th spot. Here's quite another shock. Mark Martin, the Valvoline Cummins onboard camera, starting in 26th. And he does have one of the fastest stars here. John Andretti will carry our onboard camera. The Players Incorporated. Richard Petty's Pontiac. Ricky Rudd, the Tide Ride, the Tide Sport. He will be starting in 15th spot. And on the front row, Jerry Nadeau, the First Plus Financial Ford Taurus on the front row alongside Jeff Gordon.
112 laps, 218 miles that will travel here today. The race record held by Mark Martin. Pole speed much above last year because of the shortened track. And they should be able to go about 38 to 44 laps before need of fuel. And a purse of over $2 million as we get set to go. Jerry Nadeau has never led a NASCAR Winston Cup race. Will it be he or Jeff Gordon that leads the race to turn number 1? Let's see as the green flag comes out.
Nadeau has the lead.
Oh, but he's going to get off the course. He got in the corner too hard, but he still got the lead. But there goes Jeff Gordon by him, and several cars will go by.
Wow. You could see he was going way too fast to make that second corner and got off course. He's back on everything is okay, but man, did he lose a lot of position.
He was going for that lead, wasn't he?
He was. He was pumped up going in there.
Yes, he was.
Just forgot to back off.
Well, he thought he could get, I said it on the parade lap, we thought he could get to that corner wide open. I guess I was wrong, Ned.
Well,
He certainly tried it.
he tried it, but it didn't work. He made it in 5th place. That's not too bad for getting off the course as much as he did.
Dale Jarrett second, and Jeff Bodine, Jeremy Mayfield, and Jerry Nadeau. So he is back in 5th position and not all that bad. Oh, and Ron Hornaday's off the track.
Into a tire barrier.
And the 21 car of Michael Waltrip, who noticed at the top of the hill, was off pace.
And look at Sterling Marlin dive down on the inside of Nemechek.
He passed about 5 cars going into that turn 11.
A lot of drivers are saying that that is the best opportunity now to pass, outbraking your opponent going into turn number 11, and Sterling picked up several positions.
Looks like DJ might be gaining just a little bit on Jeff Gordon as Michael Waltrip is coming through the S's very, very slow. It looks like he might be able to get back to the pit area.
There's Sterling Marlin, who is up to 12th position.
Saw the back end of Ron Hornaday's car. Never see Brett Bodine and Hornaday. And it's like a little contact between the 11 and 17.
Hornaday slams into those tires.
But he apparently got it going.
Wow, that's going through the S's.
Nice done, guys.
And watch this at the very start. Watch what they do. He's supposed to turn left, but guess what? He had too much speed, could not make that left. He goes down through the dirt, across the racetrack, tried to stay in the lead, but unfortunately could not maintain the speed and would go back to 5th spot.
Just one of those rookie mistakes that you make, especially when you're on the front row and trying to lead your first race in Winston Cup competition. There's Jeff Gordon, who has about a 1 3/4 second lead on Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, he's leading rather handily there.
Jeff Bodine running third, Nadeau back in fourth, and Jeremy Mayfield is in the 5th position. This is the Sears Point Raceway in Sonoma, California. Welcome to those of you on ESPN. We are 2 laps into this event, and Jeff Gordon has the lead over Dale Jarrett, Jeff Bodine, Jerry Nadeau, and Jeremy Mayfield. There's the interval between first and second, as we see from the Pennzoil copter cam. So quite an interval for Jeff Gordon. Jerry Nadeau started on the front row and fell back to fourth when he couldn't make the corner at the start of the race. And this incident between Brett Bodine and Ron Hornaday.
This is going through the S's. We see the cars side by side. Some contact between Brett Bodine and Ron Hornaday, and Hornaday slams into the tire barrier. Both cars would continue on.
Now here is this incident that started the race.
Jerry Nadeau on the outside of the front row just carried so much speed into turn 2 he could not make the corner. Goes across the racetrack. He's still trying to take the lead and stay in the lead, but he had lost all of his momentum.
Yeah, he had to slow it down to keep from running into that tire wall on the other side of the racetrack. And you say that killed his momentum, and Jeff Gordon, Dale Jarrett, and Jeremy Mayfield and Jeff Bodine all got by. But he now has passed Jeremy Mayfield. Nadeau has gotten in 4th place. Let's go to the test and Jerry Punch.
What a tough break for Michael Waltrip on the very first lap of the race after qualifying in 11th spot. The Citgo Ford apparently broke the throttle linkage off the side of the carburetor. The car would idle only. He finally made it back to the pits, but has come in under green, has lost a lot of valuable time. And now Leonard Wood, Lennon, and Eddie Wood are trying to reattach the linkage to the left side of the carburetor, but he will lose at least 1 lap, maybe 2 or more here in the pits. Let's go to John Kernan.
Jerry, Brett Bodine was involved in that first bit of contact with Ron Hornaday out there on the racetrack. He's just been on pit road, taking left side tires only. They wanted him to stay out, try to get into their fuel window. However, he radioed in just before he came down here to this last turn, the entrance to pit road. I got a left side tire going down. I got to come in. You got to put left sides on it. So he lost a lot of time. He's nowhere near a fuel window right now. So Brett has a lot of ground to make up.
In fact, John, he's only about 5 or 6 seconds in front of Jeff Gordon right now, being a lap down, so he's going to have to hustle to stay out there. There you see Jeff Gordon coming into the picture, a couple of turns there between them.
But that didn't answer the question. I wondered if a car could make a pit stop and stay in the lead lap here. And Brett Bodine has answered that question by stopping, changing left side, and still staying on the lead lap.
His interval now is 2.19 seconds back to Dale Jarrett. Well, for those of you who tuned in at the top of the hour to see the X Games on ESPN2, we are going to send you there in just a few seconds here. We on ESPN are going to take a commercial break and be right back with more live coverage of the Save Mart Kragen 350. Now, on the deuce, we go to the X Games. It's the Save Mart Kragen 350 NASCAR Winston Cup race from Sears Point Raceway in Sonoma, California. We are 6 laps into this race. Jeff Gordon is the leader by 2.3 seconds over Dale Jarrett, with Jeff Bodine running third and Jerry Nadeau, and the 12 car, Jeremy Mayfield, is fifth. Jerry reported on the 21 car. Let's get an update from him.
Bob, here's the throttle plate that broke off the left side of the carburetor for Michael Waltrip's car. Now, this little plate here fits on the left side. The carburetor is where my fist is right here. The throttle rod goes in this little hole here on the side. And actually, this is where it was attached to the carburetor to pivot back and forth. It snapped off right in here. And that's what cost Michael Waltrip a chance of having a great run here at Sears Point today.
Well, he's some 5 laps down now as Gordon's lead is shrinking just a little bit as he catches up with Brett Bodine. There's second place, Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, for some reason, Jarrett picked up a half a second on the last lap. Whether Jeff just slipped a little bit somewhere or something, I don't know.
Now we see the third place car, Jeff Bodine, Phillips Electronics car, and Jerry Nadeau, after his first lap excursion through the weeds, is now back up to the 4th spot. We're riding along with Jerry Nadeau now as he looks forward to Jeff Bodine.
Jeremy Mayfield has lost a position, dropping back to 6th as Bobby Hamilton has gone to 5th position. Jerry Nadeau in 1998, 12 races. His best start prior to today was 12th at Talladega. And Jeremy Mayfield and Nigel Mast are now engaged in a battle.
The crew trying to get Rick Mast pumped up to run the road course. As we told you earlier, putting Nigel Mast on the roof of his car.
He's qualified well and run well. There's Tom Hubert in the car number 19, right behind Rick Mast. He's up to 8th place from his 10th place starting position.
He had a great run going yesterday in the Southwest Tour race we had here yesterday.
Rookie Kenny Irwin Jr. would be next, running in 9th position at the moment.
That's a great run for Kenny Irwin, who really self-professed does not know a lot about road courses, and to be in the top 10 against this competition is pretty impressive.
And another Gordon. We welcome Robbie Gordon back to the series. He's a regular in the CART FedEx Championship Series now, but they have the weekend off, so he comes over here to run the road course.
He's moved up 8 positions, Robbie Gordon has. He's in the 10th position now from his 18th starting position.
And here comes Sterling Marlin. We've seen him try to pass here a couple of times, and he gets Kyle Petty.
Well, he found him a place to pass on this racetrack.
But now Kyle Petty's going to try to pass him back.
This is the battle for 11th position. They cross the line, and Sterling Marlin has the spot. And now they head uphill.
Right now, Jeff Gordon's worst nightmare. He said, I shouldn't be seeing any traffic this soon, but Brett Bodine, the left car, has made a pit stop. And right now, Jeff Gordon is being held up a little bit, which lets Dale Jarrett just close right up.
Here's a Hardee's Field summary showing the manufacturer's battle that continues to wage here in NASCAR Winston Cup competition, with Ford only 2 points ahead of Chevrolet. Gordon will undoubtedly be able to pass here as he comes into turn number 11 and put Brett Bodine between himself
and Dick Trickle is fine.
That's in the S's.
Go ahead, get her going, Dick. He's trying. Rest assured, he's trying. That thing must have, the engine died. He's trying to get it cranked. So far, he hasn't been able to do that as Gordon does get by the 11 car.
He was in turn 2.
Yeah, and he finally did get it fired, but he has gone a lap down now.
It looks like he has a flat tire.
You can see that yellow flag waving back in the area. That's for that portion of the racetrack. The caution was out.
Local yellow, meaning there's no passing at that particular point of the racetrack, but you can elsewhere.
You ever see Dick Trickle coming up the hill, running all by himself, so obviously was having some problems. Gets in the corner, and we see the left rear tire is completely flat on his car.
Apparently has run over something and cut it. Tough break for Dick.
But he has the car righted and is making his way to the pit area as Jeff Gordon and Dale Jarrett continue to run first and second.
And what did Nadeau? Where's Jay Nadeau?
Well, he's been passed by a couple of cars. Bobby Hamilton and Mayfield have both been able to get by, and now Rick Mast does.
I'm just wondering if when he got off the racetrack, we'll see Kenny Irwin come off the corner and nail the gas, and around he goes.
And he sees all those cars there. Where am I going to get in? He takes it back, gets him a wide spot there, and says, guys, you're going to have to dodge me. I'm coming back on the racetrack.
Look at all those positions go by.
He was in the top 10 and now falls back to about 28th spot.
I'm wondering about Jerry Nadeau when he went across that dirt on the very first lap, if he didn't possibly knock some brake hoses off that car, and now the brakes are getting overheated.
And another spin.
And there's no way in the world I can see where they're going in that deal. And someone is running the back of the 98 car.
Rich Bickle in car 98.
He does a 360 and keeps going. That was approaching turn number 2. Here's Wally Dallenbach now, and Bickle and Ernie Irvin.
Steve Grissom.
They're back there 29, 30, 31, and 32.
Take a look at that incident back in turn number 11. They were 3 wide in front of Kenny Irwin Jr. That's Nadeau, Mast, and Hubert.
He just nails the gas. He said, I'm going to get me some positions too.
That's exactly what he was trying to do. He saw an opportunity, he thought, to shoot by those guys, but it didn't work.
And instead lost several positions. Now here's what happened to the 98.
Well, it looks like that maybe he and Dallenbach might have had a little bit of contact.
It looks that way. I
Makes
think
a 360.
I think that Ward Burton, let's see, from Dallenbach's onboard, we can see contact, Ned.
Yep, that's contact.
What happened? Ward Burton in front of them got in the corner too hard and slid the brakes, and Bickle backed off because he thought Ward Burton was going to spin, and when he backed off, Dallenbach nailed it.
And Bickle threw up a huge smoke screen when he did the 360. There's the leader, Jeff Gordon, who's leading his 12th race this year, and that ties him with Dale Jarrett, who, of course, is running second. We understand there's debris in turn number 11.
There yeah, right there. Pretty good size something. That's not roll bar padding, I don't believe.
Well, look, it could be a chunk of rubber. I'm not sure, but in any case, the green continues to be out.
Could have come off a Dick Trickles tire, maybe a rubber piece of chunk of rubber. All the drivers have been made aware of it now. That is the slowest part off the racetrack.
Mark Martin has moved up to 16th position, started 26th. He was the fastest second-round qualifier yesterday. But look how he's just been able to pick him off about every lap.
He also, in half the hour, had the second fastest time that last hour of practice yesterday afternoon. So he has a fast race car if he can just get to front and race for the leaders.
Just ahead of him is Ricky Rudd.
Rusty Wall started back in 28th spot, and we see right along with Rusty, he's currently in 22nd spot as he goes through the main squeeze. Right there it is.
Oh, there's a car up on the bank.
Jerry
Oh, it's
Nadeau.
Nadeau, indeed. Oh, my gosh. Well, he's trying to get the car down off that dirt bank.
But he's got a lot of damage to the front of that car, it looks like.
And the guy says, was that us? Yes, it was.
I'm afraid it is. Doctor.
Well, as you see Jerry Nadeau's car there coming to rest on the bank, we were down here talking to Jerry Pitts, the crew chief, and some of the crew. Now, Jerry looks over at our TV screen to see exactly where Nadeau's car is. And I said, did you have a problem when he ran off the track on the very first lap? Jerry said he hadn't said anything at all, but we're going to ask him in just a moment. They were going to ask him as he came by, but as he came by, he keyed the radio and said, I think I broke something on lap 1. I don't think it's going to... And the radio went off. The next thing we saw was his car up on the dirt bank. So obviously something was broken. So Benny, you may have been exactly right. Either maybe brake ducts were ripped away, but something was amiss on the car number 13. And now it has come to rest off the course.
And we do have a full course caution also. So this is going to slow the entire field.
Let's see if we can check. He's racing with Kyle Petty.
And they make a little contact, it looked like. Not much, but then all of a sudden it just veers left on him. Something must have broken. A tire went down or something broke and just shot him straight into that bank.
From his onboard camera.
Let's just listen. This is going through the S's. He had to cut a left front tire down. He's looking. I think he's bit his tongue.
Yeah.
When he made that contact, because he's trying to see if there's any blood in his mouth.
Boy, what a disappointment day for Jerry Nadeau, who had high hopes going into this event. Well, what do you think? We're going to see some pit stops here. We've completed 14 laps.
I don't know. I don't believe so, Bob. I don't believe the front ones will. The others might come in as we look at Jerry Nadeau there.
It's like he may have wrenched his neck or something also.
Yeah.
He hit pretty hard.
Yes, he did. Took a very hard lick. But they can make this race on 2 pit stops. And getting up track position here would be tough. Now, if you're back at the back of the field, yeah, you come in. You don't have that much to lose.
Let's see, Jeff Gordon's trying to fake. Is he faking? What's he going to do? Everyone's watching, and what are they going to do? They all drive by pit road. Well, Jeff Gordon drove by pit road anyway. But here comes Brett Bodine. He's a lap down. He has nothing to lose.
Yep. Brett is a lap down back in 41st, so he will come in. But all of those on the lead lap apparently are going to stay out there and wait for another caution. Gordon is the leader after 14 laps. In 1948, the National Association of Stock Car Auto Racing began sanctioning races in the southeastern part of the country. Today, it's the fastest growing sport in America. NASCAR's 50th anniversary is brought to you by Coca-Cola Classic, the official soft drink of NASCAR. This weekend marks an historic moment in the history of NASCAR. 33 years ago today, June 27, 1965, a young Cale Yarborough from Timmonsville, South Carolina, won the Valdosta 100 in Valdosta, Georgia, his first Grand National stock car victory. 82 more wins would follow during his storied career, including 3 consecutive championships in 1976, 77, and 78 for car owner Junior Johnson. On this date in history, right now we are at Sears Point for NASCAR Winston Cup Racing. We remain under caution. A few drivers did make a pit stop. Those who were running at the tail of the field made a pit stop, but those who were running up front did not choose to pit. Under caution because of this on lap number 15.
Jerry Nadeau in the S's. He makes a right-hand turn, but the left front tire, I guess, is flat and straight in the bank, and he stopped suddenly. Right along with him and just see how suddenly this car stopped, folks. He's going to turn right, but the car's going straight. Hard lick.
We saw Jerry walking from the car, but he appears to be okay. Bill, we did see several pit stops there.
And this would be an unscheduled pit stop for Johnny Benson. They're going to go take off the air cleaner and apparently have a carburetor problem. They've already changed right sides. They'll change 4 tires and put fuel in, but that's not why he's here. He apparently has a motor problem. We'll check on that. But the 26 car sits on pit road. Jerry Punch.
And a bit of strategy for the Budweiser Chevrolet of Wally Dallenbach. They started back in 37th spot and knew they probably weren't going to be able to pick off all those cars to get to the front. However, this caution flag may have played into their hands. They decided to go ahead and pit early and basically do what they call short pitting, figuring the next caution that will come out, or possibly even the first pit stop around lap 35, will leave them on the racetrack at the front of the field. Let's go to John Kernan.
Jeff Burton has got showing a little bit of damage on his rear bumper because somebody got into the back of him at the very start of the race. Talked to his crew chief, Frankie Stoddard, and he said, yeah, we just got tapped from behind, but the car seems to be all right. That's why they did not come on pit road this time.
We'll take another break. 16 laps now completed here at Sears Point in the St. Mart Kragen 350. Just as you rejoin us, the cars cross the line, take the green flag, and resume the competition here at Sears Point Raceway. It's Jeff Gordon, followed by Dale Jarrett, Jeff Bodine, Bobby Hamilton, Jeremy Mayfield, and Rick Mast. We're riding on board with John Andretti, and there's quite a bit of traffic around him, isn't there?
A lot of traffic. He's back in 16th spot. 15 cars he'd like to pass, and we can see how he just had to jam on the brakes because someone in front is having some trouble. Is that Mark Martin? Yes, Mark Martin is having some problems.
Cars going by. Ooh.
John Kernan.
Mark Martin has just radioed into his crew and says, I've got a flat tire, I've got a flat tire. Apparently he ran over something, cut a tire down, so the crew's scrambling, getting 4 tires up on the wall, waiting for Mark to come back. It'll seem like an eternity before he gets here, but we can hear Jeff Gordon screaming down here to the last turn. But Mark Martin had made up a bunch of spots, about 12, 13 spots, but now a flat tire is going to put him at the back. However, if he can get in here and get out quickly as he enters pit road, there'll be 4 tires. Rick Mast is spun down to turn 11, but he gets it righted and he gets going. But Mark Martin coming on pit road. The left sides look good. The crew swings out into action. They'll change the right side tires on also the left side tires, but they will make no chassis adjustments as the field has already gone past the start-finish line. They finished work on the right sides around to the left sides, getting them off the right side tires, actually. I couldn't see a flat tire there either, so we'll have to check that in just a moment. But they get the left side, left nuts tight, and they tell Martin 3,800 RPM in second gear. He takes off and heads down pit road.
Well, he was doing so well. He started 26th, had picked up half the positions, worked his way up to 13th, but then the flat tire that has put him at the back of the field. And Rick Mast, who was running in the top 10, spun, as John told you, and he lost a few positions. He is back to, let's see, 22nd. Wow.
Now, Mark Martin's still going to be about 12 to 15 seconds ahead of the leaders, or maybe even a little bit more than that, so he's not in danger of going to let down.
Tommy Hubert goes by Jeremy Mayfield, takes a spot away, and there's Robbie Gordon, that Caterpillar car, closing in on Mayfield. And look, here's Hamilton going for third spot.
Boy, Bobby Hamilton's really racy this afternoon. Trying to pick up third position from Jeff Bodine.
Remember that great car he had at Martinsville when he won over there back in the spring? And the flat track, he hasn't had too many Kodak moments since then, but maybe, you know, this type of a racetrack, the traction that they were getting over there that day is working for him.
Yeah, his best finish since Martinsville has been a 16th, and his average finish at 24th. So Bobby is out to prove something here today.
We got a report a moment ago about Wally Dallenbach and those guys. And you will see Hamilton once again diving on the inside of Jeff Bodine, takes a spot away, and here comes Hubert. He'll take that spot away. And back behind that, Robbie Gordon gets by Jeremy Mayfield, takes a spot, and here comes Dale Earnhardt alongside Sterling Marlin.
This is not a good place to race side by side. Earnhardt knows that, so he falls back in single file, going up the hill.
Marlin is 8th, Earnhardt 9th, and Ricky Rudd is in 10th spot. We're on board with Rudd now.
Now we're going into this is still the chute, they call it now. Here's the main squeeze right here. It narrows down to nothing almost.
See the right hand and left hand turns.
Ricky Rudd, the Tide Ride, started in 15th spot, currently running in 10th.
Get an update on the Mark Martin situation. John Kernan.
Bob, we have checked out the tires. What we've found, a little cut here on the left front tire. He ran over a piece of debris, maybe a pebble, a rock out there on the racetrack, and it was a slow leak, and it's the left front tire that was cut on Mark Martin's car.
That has dropped us him all the way back to 39th position. Last car on the lead lap.
He is in no danger of going a lap down. As I mentioned earlier, he's a good 15 or 16 seconds out ahead of Jeff Gordon.
Dale Earnhardt has passed Jeremy Mayfield and gone to 8th spot. Now Ricky Rudd will begin to work on Jeremy for 9th.
Earnhardt started 17th, so he's gradually moving up.
A moment ago, we saw that Earnhardt got by Mayfield. Here's how he did it. Going up to turn 3, I think it is. And down the hill to the chute.
Now here comes Ricky Rudd. He passes Jeremy. So Rudd is 9th now. Mayfield back to 10th. Just out of the top 10 is Joe Nemechek, whose team won at Watkins Glen today. Congratulations to Ron Fellows.
By the way, got to tell you that Robbie Gordon has moved that Caterpillar car up to 4th spot.
There's Jeff Gordon. His advantage over Dale Jarrett is 2.14 seconds. And about 6 seconds back is Robbie Gordon, and he's going to the front.
Yes, he is.
Well, they're talking about it being difficult to pass, and Robbie Gordon has come from 18th up to 4th position, so
He's finding the places.
he's fine, absolutely.
And you know that Robbie Gordon wants to do this, Ned. He really wants a good run today because he left here last year at the end of the season, the 1997 season, with not too good a taste in his mouth about NASCAR Winston Cup racing.
He did not have a good race here last year when he was a regular in the series. He started in 18th position and finished 41st. But right now, Robbie Gordon, the number 96 car, is in 4th position. Now, the other Gordon is pulling away from everybody, including Robbie.
Yeah, he's increased 3 seconds, the lead on Robbie Gordon, 3 seconds in just 5 laps. But that one lap, the 78.3 that Robbie Gordon had, was getting around some traffic. And you see, that's the lap that really killed him. That was 2 seconds slower than Gordon.
Now he's in clear traffic, and when we come back, we'll see if he has been able to shave a little bit off the lead that Jeff Gordon has. Gordon has led all the way so far, and we're 23 laps into this 100 fair here at Sears Point. Call it what you will, the Valley of the Moon, the Sonoma Valley, the vineyards make this one of the most beautiful sections of the country, and we are right in the middle of it. The Sonoma Valley Sears Point Raceway. These overhead shots are coming to you courtesy of the Pennzoil Copter Cam. Looking down on the St. Mart Kragen 350 NASCAR Winston Cup race, 26 laps old, led by Jeff Gordon with a 3-second lead over Dale Jarrett. There is Jeff.
I saw Bobby Hamilton just come at the very top of the screen there. We see Hamilton, 3rd spot, and appears to be closing a little bit on Dale Jarrett.
He is. He's picked up about a half a second in the last 3 laps.
Bill has an update on Jerry Nadeau, who crashed shortly ago.
Well, Bob, Jerry Nadeau is in the infield care center. He is going to be transported to Sonoma Valley Hospital for a CAT scan. They believe he did have a brief loss of consciousness. He does not remember the wreck, but they are going to do a CAT scan for possible head and neck injuries. He is conscious now, so Jerry Nadeau being transported to a hospital for further evaluation. It's a Jerry Punch.
And Bill, but Nadeau's crew may not be done for the day. A story developing here in the pits. Kurt Rohrig, who owns the car number 19, driven by Tommy Hubert, is currently in 10th spot. Has a crew here that's very, very green. It's their first race of the 1998 season. Now, what Kurt has gone to do is send a guy over to the 13 garage area and see if he could buy the entire pit crew, lock, stock, and barrel, and get them out of here by lap 36 for their first pit stop. The negotiations are ongoing. If they won't do it, they'll wait for someone else to fall out and maybe try to buy them. They know their stop will probably be 25 seconds, probably about 5 or 6 seconds too long to give their driver a shot at a victory.
Interesting strategy. You saw Jeff Burton pick up a position moments ago, going into 11th place.
And that was Kurt Rohrig. We saw it just a moment ago. He clocked the 19 car. Tommy Hubert, when he went by, we saw him shake his head, which means right now Hubert is falling back and slowing down.
Jeff Burton, who started 23rd, is now in 10th place, so he's making a good move up through the field.
There's Jeremy Mayfield and John Andretti. Let's get a update on Mark Martin. John Kernan.
Bob Mark Martin, I just talked to Jimmy Finnick, his crew chief, and asked him if they got great fuel mileage. Conceivably, if they were getting really great fuel mileage, they stopped on lap 18, and they might be able to make it on one more stop. He said, no, the best they could do is 38 laps. So Mark, even though he can stay out there an extra 18 laps beyond most of these cars who haven't pitted, he still has to have 2 more pit stops to make it, while everybody else just needs 2 stops to make it. So Mark Martin has his work cut out for him.
But John, he is running awfully fast. He has picked up 9 seconds on Jeff Gordon since he came back out on the racetrack. And we understand that Terry Labonte might be having a problem.
Well, he has lost a bunch of positions back to 27.
Looks to me like he's carrying the left front tire a whole lot. And obviously he's not going to here, but it seemed like when he came off 11 that he was carrying the left front tire. But that would be an indication of something gone wrong with a shock or something. But that seems to be on the ground there. They got to seeing things.
Here comes Jeff Gordon once again, down toward turn number 11. Interval back to Jarrett is 3.04 seconds last lap. Jeff Gordon had the fastest lap last time, 93.5 miles an hour. There's Dale Earnhardt, who is 6th. And Jeff Burton is in the 10th position, and he's made a nice march toward the front from his 23rd starting position. He did drop back to 24th, now is up to 10th. But everybody's having a very difficult time closing in on Jeff Gordon.
Well, one reason because Jeff Gordon has the clean racetrack right in front of him. There we see Jeff Gordon on top, Jeff Burton on the bottom. And we see that Jeff Gordon is running in the 74-second bracket. Jeff Burton, meanwhile, the best lap that he ran was 75.3 this lap. And we see Kenny Schrader making a pit stop.
And we understand that Ernie Irvin also has a problem on the racetrack. He has gone straight at turn number 1 onto the drag strip.
Well, Rick Mast did too. Now, Rick has turned around and come back and going the other way. He's headed in the right direction. Ernie was going right on up the drag strip. I don't know. He looks like he's coasting. Oh, he's got a right front tire flat, and he's got problems. No question about it.
He's trying to find the shortcut to the pits.
Yeah, there is a cutoff up there somewhere, and that's what he's trying to do. And I think what happened there that he forced Rick Mast. When he went out that way, he forced Rick to go up that way. Rick didn't have any choice as Ernie was going that way with that flat tire.
This is the second Sears Point race that Jeff Gordon has led. He led 12 laps in 1996. If points were awarded right now, you see that Jeff Gordon would move ahead of Jeremy Mayfield and go into the NASCAR Winston Cup points lead. And Wallace and Labonte would also swap a position. John Kernan, what's the update on Terry Labonte?
Well, just 2 laps ago, I talked to Andy Graves. He said Terry hadn't said anything to him, but Terry is now on pit road. They'll change all 4 tires, put fuel in the car. Sitting up here in Ernie Irvin's pit trying to figure out what is going on with him, waiting for him to get in. But now the left side is going on Labonte's car, so we'll check with Andy Graves in just a moment. But 2 laps ago, he said there was not a problem with the car.
And Terry's going to get out in front of the leaders. He'll have a pretty good little space between he and Jeff Gordon. A little bit earlier than you would think they would come in. We were expecting pit stops to start at about lap 38, but there's Ernie Irvin. He's trying to get back to the pits. Boy, just that right front tire, you can see it's shredded completely. Cost Ernie a lot of time, beat up that right front fender. Johnny's finally there.
And Ryan Pemberton, his crew chief, lobbying with NASCAR, saying, hey, don't penalize this a lap because we cut through. He needs to get in. He doesn't need to be dropping stuff out there on the racetrack. So it looks like they might wind up just holding him here on pit road. The work is completed on the right side. They're working on the left side right now. They're telling him to hold it. The NASCAR official, now Ryan Pemberton, looking on the right side of the car because there is a lot of sheet metal damage. To pull some of the loose pieces, the sheet metal pieces away. They're still holding Ernie here on pit road.
And here comes Bobby Hamilton, the 3rd place car. He has been on pit road. And then this has got to be some kind of strategy move.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the one thing they want to do, they want to pit on the green, on a road course, and hope that a caution will come out the next lap or so. And DW gets around, and Darrell Walton getting around Rusty Wallace.
And Rusty's off the pace.
Yeah. He was moving up, but now he is definitely off the pace. So they want to stop under green flag condition, but we thought they'd go to lap 38, so I don't know.
Wallace started 28th, moved up to 13th spot.
But he goes by the pits, so obviously whatever problem he has is not that severe, or he doesn't consider it that severe. And look at Steve Grissom moving in there, up to the 16th position.
Steve took a provisional to get in this field. The 39th position, but has made a steady run up towards the front.
He's 13th.
That's a great run.
Jeff continues to set the pace, and Jarrett continues to chase, just as it has been since the drop of the green flag. There's third place, Sterling Marlin. Fourth place, Robbie Gordon. And here comes fifth and sixth, Earnhardt and Bobby Labonte.
They've been moving up towards the front pretty good as well. Their tires are getting old. Those that have a good setup for hot, slick tires are the ones that are prevailing right now.
And what happened to Rusty Wallace? We thought he had a problem. The problem was that Darrell Waltrip had fresh tires. He had 4 fresh tires from that pit stop a moment ago. That's why he was so much faster than Rusty Wallace. So it's obvious that 4 fresh tires, a considerable advantage here at Sears. Good point.
Darrell Waltrip is running 11th, and we should see more pit stops here in just a few laps. Right now, we're 33 into the 112 laps of the Save Mart Kragen 350 with Jeff Gordon leading. Welcome back to Sears Point. Jeff Gordon crosses the line, completes 35 laps. Bill Weber has some reports on pit stops.
Robbie Gordon is on pit road. A spectacular run from the 18th starting spot, but the real race for this team might begin right now. They knew Gordon would be good, but the pressure is on pit stops. This will be a 4-tire stop, no chassis adjustment. Gordon looks up, gives us a thumbs up. Everything's going well. The right sides are on. Now they come around to the left. Trying to unbolt the left front, working on the left rear. 4 tires and fuel. Now Jeremy Mayfield creeps by on the outside. Gordon is away to Jerry Punch.
All right, current Winston Cup point leader Jeremy Mayfield brings his Ford down. The Mobil 1 crew will scamper over the wall. Paul Andrews and company clutched at that victory last week in Pocono, Pennsylvania. Will change all 4 tires. A scheduled stop, the first of just 2 stops they will have this afternoon. Left side tires, a little problem now getting some of the stuff out of the way from the right side. Car on the jack. Left front is on, left rear is on. He is down and away.
The NASCAR Winston Cup points leader is back in the race after his scheduled pit stop.
Now, the leader's coming up on him pretty close. You can see Jeff Gordon coming up the hill there as Jeremy gets back out. But Jeremy will have those new tires on, so he should be able to pull away. He should be able to run a couple of seconds a lap faster.
Well, Mark Martin, since his flat tire that he had to come in to change, has really made up some ground on Jeff Gordon and everybody else for that matter. Look at this.
Yeah, he really has. When he first came out of the pits, he was 53 seconds behind, but on this graphic, we show him 42 seconds behind, and you can see how he has cut that down to 37 seconds just in about 5 or 6 laps there.
Rusty Wallace is in. John Kernan is there.
4-tire change for Rusty Wallace. Also, 1 round into the right rear left's already going on, and it's full of fuel. It's down and away. Now to Bill Weber.
4-tire stop underway for Joe Nemechek. The right side's already on, bolting on the left, fuel going in, chassis adjustment on his Bell South Chevy. He's away. Bodine on pit road.
Stop.
Jeff Gordon, the leader, is coming in. Doc, he's headed toward you.
Well, both Jeff Gordon and Dale Jarrett should be pitting this time by, Bob. They wanted to go 38 laps. Their second stop on lap, again, 38 more laps, and that would be the way they get the checkered flag. Gordon plans no adjustments whatsoever, whereas Jarrett plans an air pressure change in the front tires to try to get a little more forward by. Both cars pitting nose to tail at the turn 1 into pit road. Right side tires going to the 24 car. Likewise, lines. Right behind him, the quality care crew. Scampering now. Both crews to the left side. It'll be a race on pit road. Left front tire on for Gordon. Left rear. Jarrett's left rear is on. Lug nuts are on. Problem with the left rear for Gordon. Jarrett may have a chance to beat him. They race out. Let's go to Bill Weber.
And Dale Earnhardt returns to the race. He's got 4 tires and fuel just ahead of him. Sterling Marlin also returned to the track. The 88 got out of pit road first.
And you saw Ricky Rudd also making a pit stop. Here come Jeff Burton and Dale Earnhardt as they slam the accelerator after clearing pit road and rejoin the competition.
And Bobby Labonte has taken over the lead. He has not made a pit stop. After he does make a pit stop, Darrell Waltrip will take on the lead. He might be able to stay there for a while because he won't have to make a stop for a little while.
Yeah, he was one of those who did make a stop under the caution. So Bobby Labonte gives up the lead, relinquishes it to Darrell Waltrip, and here comes Bobby in for his scheduled stop.
See Darrell Waltrip go by. He will take the lead as he crosses the start-finish line. Jerry Punch coming to you.
In 9 attempts at Sears Point Raceway, Bobby Labonte has never won, but he has been in the top 3 the last 3 years with 3 laps to go and had problems. Maybe today, the 10th time will be the charm. The Interstate Batteries crew now go to work on the right side of his Pontiac. Right side tires, great pit stop so far. Less than 7 seconds on the right side. Left front is on. Left rear is on. They clean the windshield. Lug nuts are on. And he is down and away. Great stop. Maybe one of the best we've seen this season.
Well, that's one of the best you'll see anywhere, Jerry. 16.6 seconds. That was a great pit stop.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't get very much better than that, I'll tell you.
Interstate Batteries crew can pat themselves on the back. They did a great job. Here is Darrell Waltrip leading the race. 15 races this year, 8 races. The first 8, not so good for Darrell, but the last 7, boy, some marked improvement. 2 top 10s and an average finish of 16.2. And every race fan had to get emotional just like Darrell did when he had that great run at Pocono last week.
I talked to him on Monday and told him he made us proud last Sunday at Pocono.
All of us old guys, right?
Ernie Irvin there 2 laps down in the Skittles car, trying to get by DW, then hope the caution flag were to come out.
Running second is Steve Grissom. He's another one of those cars that did make a pit stop during the caution. Bill, John Andretti's in.
He certainly is, Bob. They'll clean the windshield, and he will also get 4 tires. Right sides, of course, going on first. They'll put in the fuel. They don't need a whole lot of that. Now the second can going in to make sure they'll top it off. Left side's off. Left side's going on. Andretti sitting patiently. They clean the grill to make sure there's no debris there. Waiting on the left rear, and John Andretti returns to the race in about 19 seconds flat.
Keeping it under that pit road speed limit as he searches for the pit exit. There it is. Now he can accelerate up to speed. There's the leader, Darrell Waltrip. His lead over Steve Grissom is 4 1/3 seconds.
There's Steve Grissom, the second place car, Kodiak car, and there comes our third place car, Tommy Kendall in the 91 car.
Bill Elliott is coming along there. He's in 4th spot.
Now, all of those cars did make pit stops during that caution period. And so they can go another, probably another 10 laps from here before they would need to make a pit stop.
Tom Kendall started 42nd, taking a provisional, actually taking over this car. And has now worked himself up to 3rd place. Had some damage there in the front end.
He certainly got in the back with someone. My understanding is that Teddy Bear will not be driving this car anymore. Kevin LePage.
He is out of it for good.
Bill Elliott started 43rd in the McDonald's car, is now running in 4th spot. And you can see where he made that huge jump from 19th to 4th in that 7 laps when all the cars made the pit stops. He gained 15 spots.
His best finish here at Sears Point came in 1989. He was 3rd, and Waltrip is coming in to Bill Weber.
And it's shades of old. Darrell Waltrip leading a road course race. Of course, he's never won at Sears Point or at Watkins Glen. Right now, tiptoes down pit road and will pull his Pennzoil Chevy to the attention of Felipe Lopez and company. He slides to a stop. They'll clean the windshield, go around to the right side, shove the fuel can in the rear of the car, make sure they'll top that off. Cleaning the windshield for Darrell. Right side's already on. Now they come around to the left. Jack underneath. Car goes up. The fuel is in, waiting on the tires. They clean the grill. Darrell gives up the lead and heads back out on the track.
4,500, 4,500.
Steve Grissom is leading the race, and this is the first time in 1998 that he has led the NASCAR Winston Cup Series.
Right there, right there.
And we have got a battle going on. We see Dale Jarrett trying to get through the traffic. We see Jeff Gordon back now in second spot.
Jarrett just got through this traffic. They have been held up a little bit because Kyle Tate and some of those have on older tires because they made pit stops during that caution. And so they've been held up a little bit there. They have really been fighting that heavy traffic, something Jeff Gordon hasn't had to do today until he made that pit stop.
And he just passed Bobby Hamilton in this last lap. The last time by, Hamilton was in front of Jeff Gordon. As a matter of fact, he passed Jeff Gordon on the lap that Jeff made that pit stop.
Now they are running, excuse me, Benny, they are running in the 12th and 13th position. So Gordon took over the 12th position. Dale Jarrett is up to 9th now. Mark Martin has moved up to 5th. But he'll have a pit stop coming up before too long. Here's Gordon taking another position.
There was all kind of action just ahead of Jeff Gordon last lap. The 30 car of Derek Koch got into problems and spun off the racetrack, and Jeff and Bobby Hamilton and Sterling Marlin just got by. ESPN Speed World today at Sonoma, California, Sears Point Raceway for the St. Mark Kragen 350 being brought to you by Quaker State. Sensible technology. What more do you need to know? By First Plus Financial. At First Plus, you don't need equity, you just need a phone. And by the more than 1,900 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. Just a huge crowd here to watch the race this afternoon. The leader is Steve Grissom. Now led 4 laps, the first 4 that he has led in 1998. Got about a 2-second advantage on Tom Kendall, and Robert Presley's in the pits.
And we can see the flat tire over there. The NASCAR official steps over it. That was the reason for the unscheduled stop. And we see the NASCAR official also is said, please don't leave while I'm in front of the car.
And the 9 car driven by Butch Gilliland is also in the area they call Gilligan's Island.
He was up in the top 10 when he made this pit stop, but he's one of those drivers that had made a pit stop on that caution flag way back.
And when these cars make their pit stops, they have to stop. They will stay there for 12 seconds because of the advantage that they gain by being able to pit inside the racetrack.
4,000, go. 4,000, 4,000,
It's
4,000.
called Gilligan's Island because it's between the racetrack. Turn 11 over on the left and headed toward the straightaway and the start-finish line on the left. Grissom still, and Jeremy Mayfield is off the track.
Our points leader, the main squeeze, got him, Bob.
Yes, it did.
Doesn't look like there's much damage to his Ford. It cost him a lot of time.
Jimmy Spencer is in, John.
And Jimmy Spencer ran his best lap of the day the last couple of times by, is what his crew has just told him. He pitted under the first caution, the only full course caution that we had. They've taken on 4 tires, no changes, and Spencer will now make his long way down pit road. He's in the very first pit on this end. He throws out his water bottle on pit road after he finished drinking that. So I guess that was a good thing he didn't throw it out there on the racetrack, because then we might have a controversy, right?
Not that again. Let's take a look at how the main squeeze got Jeremy here.
Well, let's see the cars there as they come through the... Oh, he was in the chute in the straightaway just before he got to the main squeeze, and he and Rich Bickle side by side, and Jeremy kind of got forced off the road.
He got squeezed before they got to the squeeze.
That's right. Did kick up some gravel on the track, though, back in that area, some dirt.
And you've been concerned about Jeremy Mayfield and how his tires are being able to maybe puncture one of those tires as he gets into that gravel. That's something you don't want to see. We've seen cars limp around here with flat tires today. It takes forever to get around the race course on a flat tire.
There are 35 cars still on the lead lap at 46 laps in.
Steve Grissom is the leader. The 91 car of Tommy Kendall is 3 seconds behind. Then comes Bill Elliott. He's 5 seconds behind. Mark Martin is in 4th place. He's 11.5 seconds behind. Dale Jarrett has moved back to 5th. He's 15.6 seconds behind. Jeff Gordon is 1 second behind Jarrett in 6th place. And then comes the car number 50 of Wally Dallenbach. Here comes Martin. He is in 4th place. He'll have a pit stop coming up before too long. That's Rick Mast behind him there. He's a lap down. There goes Jarrett and Gordon.
Dallenbach, Hamilton, Sterling Marlin, Bobby Labonte goes by. By the way, Rick Mast has lost a lap. He's running 37. And Bobby Hamilton moving to the inside of Dallenbach, and so will Sterling Marlin.
Now remember, Dallenbach's got a pit stop coming up. Whether he can make it on one more run or not, one more pit stop, I doubt it.
Well, the smoke indicates somebody's off. Who is it? Terry Labonte.
Terry Labonte is off the track. He's moving right now. Got some damage to the rear of the Kellogg Chevrolet. He's not being able to get going. The right rear tire is flat. That's probably why he went off the course.
So he limps back to the pits.
And we see the gravel and debris on the racetrack, and that, that's one cause for concern. If you get out in that, you could cut a tire down. We see Kyle Petty and Bill Weber.
And Kyle had the great qualifying effort. Now he's stopping on pit road to get his 4 tires. Of course, again, they'll do the right sides first. Then he'll get 2 more tires for the left side. Sits there in his Hot Wheels Pontiac. They loosen the lug nuts on the left side. Continue to fuel the car. Now they've completed that. Waiting for the tires to be bolted on. And Kyle Petty will return to the race. Meanwhile, Terry Labonte limps to pit road, and John Kernan will be waiting for him when he arrives.
And Terry coming around the last turn to get onto pit road. You can see a lot of damage. In fact, I think he might have a little more than the flat tire. He just radioed in and said it feels like one of the trailing arms is broken. So the crew looks around on the right rear of the car. I have a feeling Terry might be on pit road for quite some time. Of course, I'm on the left side. I can't see on the right side. The NASCAR official, they're going to put the right side tires on it, and Andy Graves has made the call. They're going to have to take the car behind the wall, so possibly it is a broken trailing arm or Bennett.
Terry Labonte spun coming through the S's.
And we see that tire go flat, just exactly as you said, Ned, and backed it in the bank.
Battle for 3rd position involves the 94 of Bill Elliott and the 6 on that 2nd and 3rd.
Yes, the 2nd car, Tommy Kendall. The 91 car, the 1st Union Chevrolet, and that's going to be Nicky D. 94. Elliott has closed up on Kendall. And we'd expect him to pass him, but it looks like right now Kendall says, no, I don't think so.
Well, Steve Grissom continues to lead this race with about a 3.6-second advantage on Tom Kendall. 48 out of 100 laps have been completed at Sears Point Raceway. Welcome back to Sears Point as you get an overhead view of this 1.9-mile road course. It's the Save Mart Kragen 350. We have gone over all caution because Ernie Irvin slid into the sand trap. There he is.
And he's unable to get out of the sand trap, so they will throw the official, get a wrecker out there to pull him out.
You can see how deep that right rear tire is buried into the sand. He tried to get out, but the more he tried, the deeper he went into it.
So now, what does this mean for some drivers?
Oh, boy, for Mark Martin, it's a huge, huge break. So, too, for Bill Elliott and Tommy Kendall. They had pit stops coming up here very shortly, but now they'll get to make under caution.
But you know who got the biggest break of all? Steve Grissom. He had just pitted a lap before that. He will stay on the racetrack and probably be somewhere very near the front with 4 fresh tires and good to go to the next run.
Good point. That's what we said earlier, that you make a green flag pit stop and hope the caution comes out while you're in the pit for the lap after.
Yep, that's exactly what happened to Steve. Let's take a look at what happened to Ernie Irvan that's caused this caution flag.
Well, it just all of a sudden spins right out into that sand.
There is the chute, and I didn't see any other cars go by, so hard to imagine there was any contact. But and there we see the leader, Tommy Kendall, Bill Elliott, Mark Martin, follow the pace car.
All this from the Pennzoil copter cam as it flies over turn number 11 here at Sears Point. There's the entrance to the pits on the right, and Mark Martin is going to take advantage.
And the other two cars are going to pit in Gilligan's Island. See, they're pitting in Gilligan's Island.
Yeah.
Okay,
so now they'll go into the pits on the right side. Here comes Jeff. Here comes Gordon.
And now Dale Jarrett did not pit.
Down to John Kernan in Martin's pit.
It'll be a 4-tire change for Mark Martin. They were hoping that the leaders, the other guys they're competing with, would come on in and pit because they'll still need one more pit stop. Only an air pressure adjustment of the rear tires for Mark Martin. Left's already going on. Looks like it's going to be a great pit stop for Mark. Now let's go down to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Jeff Gordon will be able to make it on one more pit stop. They come in and change right side tires. Looking at the left side tires, they come around. They will change all 4 tires. Now left side crew coming around. They had a problem the first stop a little bit with the left rear tire. It goes on flawlessly now. Left front going on. They top it off with fuel, and he is down and away.
And Doc, he got a bad break because maybe the fastest car here, Mark Martin, beat him out of the pits.
Boy, some interesting strategy being played out here. Several cars did not pit.
Jeremy Mayfield completing his pit work and going back out there.
Also, Joe Nemechek, Warburton, Kenny Irwin, Jimmy Spencer.
Well, we're nearing the halfway point of this event. We've completed 51 laps right now, and they're trying to get Ernie's car out of that sand. And look how deep the car is in it.
Man, it's a bulldozer now. It's not a
Sure
car.
is.
It's not a car anymore.
That's deeper than some of Benny's golf balls when he gets in the sand trap.
That's right. Now they're trying to get the sand out of the way so they can drag him out.
That's a great saver, though, because it'll slow the car down and stop it before it gets to any hard barrier that it would be able to hit. We'll be right back. Back at Sears Point, where the caution remains, getting Ernie Irvan's car out of the sand trap. It is Dale Jarrett who is leading this race at the moment after 52 laps. Well, there are a few things that you utilize more on a road course than you do on an oval. And that gives us the perfect opportunity to visit Bill Weber and a Track Fact. Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State. Sensible technology. What more do you need to know?
A rev limiter box is an invaluable tool on a road course. It works as a companion with the driver, preventing him from over-revving the engine. Say I'm on a road course and I miss a shift. I might turn 12,000 RPM. That could easily damage or destroy my engine, except I'm running this rev limiter chip, which prevents me from turning over 8,600 RPM, because the ignition box, working on a signal from the distributor, will shut down selected cylinders when the engine reaches 8,600 revolutions per minute, preventing me from over-revving the engine. Now here's the trick. Since I have 2 ignition systems, I can run 2 rev limiter boxes. With 10 to go, if I need more RPM, I change ignition boxes. Now I can turn 9,000 RPM. And with 5 to go, if I need even more RPMs, I can simply reach over and pull out this chip. Now I have unlimited RPM, but I have to be careful not to over-rev the engine. And one more thing to remember, these chips will not help when you downshift, when it's also very easy to over-rev the engine.
Great explanation there by Bill Weber of a rev limiter, which you hear being used a lot here on this road course. It's the beautiful wine country of the Sonoma Valley of Northern California. Under caution here at Sears Point Raceway. We'll take a break and be right back with more of the St. Mart Kragen 350. It does not look good for the NASCAR Winston Cup points leader, Jeremy Mayfield. I had the hood up on this car moments ago.
Now the of just simply taping the hood pins down so that it come out. But they've got all the time in the world. What's going on down there, Jerry?
Well, Benny, the problem is the handling on the car has gone away, and Jeremy said, we got to do something. I'm just bouncing all over the racetrack. So they came in and basically raised the hood, and Paul Andrews and the guys made a shock adjustment in the front. That's why they were just putting the hood back down and taping the hood pins back down a moment ago. He is down and away. And by the way, updating why Dale Jarrett did not pit. We have talked to Todd Parrott, and he has learned from Steve Allen that they are getting excellent gas mileage. They can actually go, get this now, 42 laps on fuel. So if they get to lap 70 and pit, they're done for the day. Everyone else still has to come back in. So that's the strategy. Track position right now. And, of course, if it were to end right now, he would be our points leader. Let's go to Bill Weber.
Well, a couple of interesting stories unfolding down here on pit road. First of all, there's a story of Robbie Gordon currently running 4th on the racetrack. The last thing he said to this crew before the race started was, I love this place. Ever since then, it's really been a cheerleading session, trying to calm Robbie and build his confidence. Take it easy, one lap at a time, one car at a time. Robbie has moved forward from his 18th starting position. His car has developed a little bit of a push. That's the story on the 96 team. Right next door in the 26 pit, Johnny Benson, who had to pit earlier under that caution, had a miss in the engine. Steve Meal says they worked on the carburetor. The problem has gone away somewhat. Benson did come back in, got 4 tires and a fresh load of fuel. He's now 23rd on the racetrack.
Been as low as 39th during the race and as high as 10th. Now is in 23rd spot. Dale Jarrett is the leader of the race under caution here, with Sterling Marlin second, then Bobby Labonte. And we'll take another break and be back to Sears Point Raceway. The field moves through the S's, and when they hit the starting line, they'll get the green flag and go back to racing. This Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on the Deuce, ESPN2's Thunder Series moves to Indianapolis Raceway Park for the USAC Stoops Freightliner Sprint Cars. And then the next day, we have qualifying for the Pepsi 400 at 9 o'clock Eastern Time Thursday night. It will be the Under the Lights qualifying session in preparation for the Pepsi 400 on Saturday night. So join us Thursday for qualifying at 9 Eastern.
Okay, Bob, I think we're getting ready to go green again. Now, Rick Masters' car out front, he's on the tail end of the lead lap as they get the green and ready to go racing again.
All clear, all clear.
Leader is Jarrett, second car in line. Hubert and Jeff Bodine are side by side up the hill. You can see that Jeff Gordon, who has led the most laps this race, is mired back in traffic. He's 15th. He's led 37 of the 55 laps that have been completed so far. This time around, it'll be the halfway point, but the money will not be awarded. They have to run, what is it, 5 laps under green?
Yeah, I think that's the rules.
By the way, we have 2 cars out of the race. Jerry Nadeau, who crashed, and Terry Labonte is experiencing his first DNF of 1998. He is also out of the race. On board with Mark Martin back in 14th spot, just ahead of Jeff.
Here's Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, back in 14th and 15th position.
Out for the lead. Sterling Marlin dives down to the inside. How many times have we seen him do this today?
Jarrett was trying to go around with fast, couldn't quite do it. And you heard Marlin's spotter say, excellent, excellent. It certainly was. Jarrett trying to move back and take the lead back again. Couldn't do it.
Your First Plus financial field summary showing you the points change. We continue to update you on where your favorite driver is in the points at the moment. Sterling Marlin, if he leads at the line, will be our 7th leader of the race.
Huh? He led the line when
oh, that's right. That's right. He did. Gordon, Grissom, Jarrett, Waltrip, Kendall, and Martin are the other leaders we've had. Sterling has had 2 top 10s in 9 Sears Point races. His best was a 6th place finish in 1990. He led 2 laps in 93. Gordon and Jeff Burton breathing down the leader's neck. Here's Labonte trying to take second from Jarrett.
And he does, and here comes Robbie Gordon. He'll go by or get alongside Jarrett anyway.
And it looks like Robbie Gordon does take the spot from Jarrett.
Rick Mast sitting up there in front of Sterling Marlin just hoping for a caution so he gets to go all the way around the racetrack. And he is in the lead lap, but barely.
Battle for the 5th spot, and Steve Grissom back there in 7th spot.
Now he has fresh tires on. Steve Grissom has the freshest tires of all of these drivers up front here.
And Darrell Waltrip is also involved in this battle.
Yeah, Darrell has relatively fresh tires too. He'd made a green flag pit stop not too long before the caution came out.
Back of Darrell is Jeff Bodine at number 7. Then Kyle Petty comes along. And then Mike Skinner, who is celebrating a birthday today. He is 36, and you know whose birthday it also is today?
Bob.
Junior Johnson.
Oh, okay.
86, 68, 86. 68, happy birthday. Well, what is Kyle doing? Back and forth.
Well, he was trying to go on the inside of Jeff Bodine, and Jeff Bodine blocked that spot. So Kyle tried to go on the outside and could not quite make it. And Mark Martin, I thought, was going to get by Kyle Petty. And now Mark Martin has Skinner between himself and Jeff Gordon.
Dale Earnhardt right behind Steve Grissom. And again, you don't think of Steve Grissom as a road racer, but he's put on a very impressive show here today.
Yes, he has. He has run very well, taking a provisional to get in the field and has led a good portion of this race by some good pit strategy, but staying right in there.
Jerry Punch has a report on Dale Jarrett, who slipped back to 4th.
Bob, on the restart, DJ came by and didn't say anything the first time by when he lost the lead. He came by the next time, and he said something very quickly, which Todd and Brad Parrott were trying to understand. What they think he said was the toe got knocked out. And they haven't talked back to him, and he hasn't said anything since then. But obviously he's dropped back, and they have the bars and the string laying on pit wall in case he would need to pit, and they would need to set the toe in once again.
Okay. Well, Sterling Marlin now with about a 1-second advantage on Bobby Labonte. Then comes Robbie Gordon, and Jarrett is in 4th place. That last lap, however, Jarrett had the fastest speed, 95.014 among the top 6. Back with more of the Mart Kragen 350 in a moment. The peace, the quiet, the tranquility of the Sonoma Valley in Northern California has been ripped apart today by racing at Sears Point just after taking the green flag outside front row sitter. Jeremy Nadeau couldn't make the turn, lost several positions, and later went out of the race. Also, Ron Hornaday had problems. He's into the tire barrier. A lot of cars not on course as Rich Bickle gets a little bit of a bump from Wally Dallenbach. This is what put Jerry Nadeau out of competition. In the S's, a flat tire. He couldn't turn, and the car up on the bank. He's been taken to a local hospital. Derek Cope also spinning. A close call for Bobby Hamilton, Sterling Marlin, and Jeff Gordon. Terry Labonte is out of the race. He and Nadeau the only 2 out so far. And Ernie Irvin also was into the sand trap just moments ago. The leader is Sterling Marlin. There he is, followed very closely by Bobby Labonte.
And Rick Mast, for the last 2 or 3 laps, has stayed in front of these leaders. And here we see Jeff Burton trying to get by Dale Jarrett, and the contact, and Burton goes around into the wall hard.
That is an area of the racetrack you don't normally see a crash. I can't remember anybody ever having wrecked there before, but Jeff Burton backed into that barrier very, very hard.
And this will be the break that Rick Mast had been looking for. He's right in front of the leader. Jeff don't know how much, Burton don't know how much damage is done to the back of his Exide Ford.
caution is out. The overall caution is out, and so Mast will be able to go around the entire racetrack.
If he can beat him back. If something doesn't happen, he can beat him back. I don't think that Sterling Marlin would back off and let Rick Mast get that lap back.
Talk to me, Sterling. If we stay out for 10 more laps and he get under green, they have to still stop again. They have to still stop again.
See, you hear him discussing the strategy.
Yep.
So if we pit now, we've got to
hear what the 88's doing.
See what the 88's
They haven't said a word.
They haven't said a word. Trying to eavesdrop.
There is Mast beating Martin back to the line.
Mast is in 34th position, so he will get to go all the way around.
Well, Jeff Burton crashing here right at the start-finish line. He has all top 10 finishes in the last 6 races, but it isn't going to end that way today. He's climbed from 16th to 8th in the point standings. Here's what happened to Jeff.
Coming off turn 11, we see Jeff Burton, the 99 car, on the inside of Dale Jarrett. And they're going along, and all of a sudden they make contact. And then the cars just, they hit tires. If they just hit sheet metal, it'd been okay, but they hit tires, which basically, I think, knocked the wheel out of Jeff Burton's hands, and the car just went sideways. And we saw when he backed in the retaining wall that he actually cracked the wall. There we see, when they touch tires like that, he just jerked the wheel out of his hand.
Now in a separate incident, let's jump on with John Andretti.
And you see Ken Slater runs into the back of Kenny Irwin. Irwin's car, we saw it smoking going up the hill after that. We didn't know what was causing it, but now we know what the problem was.
Boy, those barriers are made out of solid concrete and weigh a couple of tons, and man, he looks like he may have broke it. If not, he certainly did move it. Jerry?
I don't know. Well, we are standing right across from Jeff Burton, where he's climbed out, and Gary Nelson, the Winston Cup Series director, is over there talking to Jeff Burton, who's not a really happy camper. I'm not making excuses for anyone, but as Dale Jarrett came down the back chute and headed for turn 7 prior to this accident, he radioed to Todd Parrott, his crew chief, said this car simply will not turn. We cannot get it to turn. I don't know what's wrong with it. They had made an air pressure adjustment. You heard him say earlier he thought maybe the toe end was out. Well, Jeff Burton now walks across pit road here, and we'll head back toward his pits. We'll see if we can get a quick comment with him, maybe get him to come over toward us. He's not a happy camper, obviously, as hard as he has worked in the point standings to try to get back up in the top 10. And now his day is over as he heads across to a NASCAR official. And obviously, he just, the look on his face indicates he doesn't want to talk to anybody. And I really can't blame him. Very, very upset as he heads back to the garage area. And hang on, he's going to turn around and talk to us here. Jeff, a tough break for you out on the racetrack.
Yeah, that's pretty bad right there. We had a great race car. That's the second time we got on the outside of Jarrett. And the first time he ran me up in the rubber and I had to lift. And that time, I guess he figured that he didn't want to do that, and he just wrecked me. He came, you run side by side there, and you got to have respect for each other. And that is the first time he's wrecked me.
And let me ask you, Jeff, how bad is the car? We couldn't see the back of the car from pit road. Any chance to get back out at all?
The X-Side Ford needs a rear clip. The fuel cell's dragging the ground. They'll work their ass off to get it ready. I got one of the best teams in Winston Cup racing, and they'll work to get it ready. But it's got us way back.
All right, Jeff, thanks for stopping and talking on a very difficult afternoon. Jeff Burton heads back to the garage here, obviously extremely disappointed.
Well, here's what happened. They came off the corner, and we see the cars side by side, and all of a sudden they swerved together, and they made contact. I can't really see where DJ did anything that would have. It didn't look like the DJ swerved in the 99. Just looked like that they touched wheels. I guess as you come off the corner and they accelerate with all that horsepower, these cars go back and forth. And
well, in any case, Jeff Burton's car is badly, badly damaged, and we are under caution once again here at Sears Point. At Sears Point Raceway, we are under caution once again. for a crash involving Jeff Burton. The Pennzoil copter cam has these shots of the field as it makes its way from turn number 11 across the start-finish line and up the hill once again. There is quite a bit of damage to the concrete barrier that is underneath the start-finish line and was hit by Jeff.
Yeah,
he cracked it, didn't he?
Yeah, we see where the wall is broken there. Mike Helton, the vice president of competition for NASCAR, is standing by the wall waiting for someone to come over there, isn't he, Jerry?
Yeah, Benny, that's Mike Urich running across to Mike Helton now in the red shirt. These guys from Sears Point, and they're trying to discuss exactly how they're going to fix it. It would take quite a while to be able to push that wall back and put some posts in behind it and probably pour concrete. What they're discussing and what Mike Helton is pointing to is the possibility of them picking up a couple of sections of portable concrete wall and bringing them up there and setting them down either in front or behind that section to add some reinforcement. Now, we are told now, as I hear the radios going, as Mike Urich is now talking to the staff crew here at Sears Point Raceway, they will indeed pick up 2 sections of concrete wall, bring them over, and put them down behind that wall so the crack will not open up anymore, and if a car would hit there, it'd be totally reinforced as if a new wall were in place.
You know, we heard Jeff Burton in his interview just a moment ago, and he's crashed his race car. You know that he's upset. But we want to show you this replay one more time. We want to slow this thing down because if you are a Dale Jarrett fan, you know, you're having some problems with this. If you're a Jeff Burton fan, you also may be having. As we watch this real slow, watch the 88 cars on the right, the blue car, this Jeff Burton on the left. And all of a sudden, the cars get close. And the cars are still going to continue. And all of a sudden, it looks like that the 99 car just jumped right beside the 99 car. And when those tires met, when Jarrett's right front and Burton's left front tire met, that's what caused the 99 car to spin. Now watch this impact on the wall as he backs in and we see the wall give way.
From Mark Martin's onboard camera.
And there you can't see anything other than the car just made contact.
I thought those were portable barriers, but that's a solid concrete wall. They will go get a couple of portable temporary barriers to place in back of that to reinforce it. But in any case, he hit it very, very hard. There's the portable barriers that are used so much on road courses.
And he has to observe pit road speed. You see that? Pit road man said, stop. Give him a stop sign. You got to wait till all these cars go by before you go on the racetrack.
All right, so we'll be under caution here for a while the wall is reinforced. We're 66 laps into this 112-lap event. ESPN Speed World coverage resumes at Sears Point Raceway in the Save Mart Kragen 350. Well, you've seen it on the internet. Now NASCAR brings you all those megabytes of hot NASCAR news and features to your living room. Introducing the brand new NASCAR Online phone browser, 1-900-5-NASCAR. $1.49 a minute, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can tap into America's hottest website with nothing more than your telephone.
As the cars continue to circulate around Sears Point Raceway at slow speed under the caution flag.
Here's a First Plus financial rundown showing you where everybody is at the moment.
In parentheses on the right where each car started, and Marlin up from 16th, Robbie Gordon from 18th. We'll see Mark Martin from 26th back in 6th spot, and now he's on the same cycle as all the other cars.
Jeff Gordon, who is in 8th position, has led most laps to so far, 37. Here's 16 through 30 now.
Of course, all of those cars are on the lead lap, including Kenny Irwin down there in 30th position now, but he came in and got some repairs on his Ford.
34 cars, as a matter of fact, are on the lead lap. We have 3 cars out of the race: Jeff Burton, Terry Labonte, and Jerry Nadeau. John Curtin has a report from pit road.
Well, Mark Martin's crew is busy talking over strategy. Jimmy Finnick watching the laps count off under caution, talking with team owner Jack Roush, and what they're discussing is within the next couple of laps, Mark would have a window where he could go the rest of the way. They're getting excellent fuel mileage, could go about 44 laps or so. So if they could get into that window, then they would come in top off, pit, take tires, and then go out there and be good to go for the rest of the way. Bill Weber?
John, similar situation for Nigel Mast. He just came in and they topped it off with fuel and he put on his 4 tires. Now, Dave Charpentier, his crew chief, would not tell me how far they can go on a full load of fuel, but they can't make it right now. They are facing the same possibility that they might be able to top off at the end of this caution and then run to the finish. Of course, they'd be on very old tires, and some guys are going to have newer tires as we go along, but that could be their strategy. Top off at the end of this caution. Further down pit road is Dr. Punch.
And like we said earlier, Dale Jarrett's window will open at lap 70. They can go 42 laps. It's going to be close, but they could go right at 42 laps on fuel, so they could pit on lap 70, just 3 laps away. They are going to have to pit, from what I'm told. They're talking about it among themselves on the radio, discussing the problem. We mentioned that Jarrett's left front may be towed in, and now following that contact, the right front may also be towed in. So they got to plan when they bring him in to be able to check the tow in on the right and left side as time permits.
Well, kudos to the track crew here at Sears Point. They have gotten that temporary barrier behind the one that was broken, and so this caution period may not be as long as we think. They may be now going to get a second one that will also reinforce the broken one caused by Jeff Burton's crash. All right, well, we'll take another break here and be right back with more live coverage from Sears Point Raceway. Stay with us. The beautiful Sonoma Valley in Sonoma, California, Sears Point Raceway. We're being brought to you by Texaco, a world of energy. By Ford, makers of vehicles that are built to last. And by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running. It's the Mart Kragen 350 here at Sears Point. Tune in to Deuce at 8 o'clock tonight for RPM Tonight, hosted by Reese Davis. He'll bring you highlights and interviews from the Pep Boys Indy Racing League, the New England 200 at Loudon today, the Busch Series race at Watkins Glen that was completed earlier this afternoon, and he'll have highlights, of course, of this race here in Sonoma. That's RPM Tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on the Deuce. And they're moving that second temporary barrier now into place. So they're completing their work here rather quickly. Let's go down to Dr. Jerry Punch once again.
Well, Bob, a move that may just win a road course race for the first time for Bobby Labonte if things play out his way. Now, their fuel mileage, they were the best of anybody we talked to all morning long in the garage area. They came in and pitted while we were in break a moment ago on lap 67. They could actually go 45 laps on fuel. So they will be able to stay out and go the rest of the way when everyone else has to at least pit one more time. So if it plays out and we stay green, Bobby may get him a road course victory. How about down where you are, John Kernan?
Well, Jack Roush, Jimmy Fitting made the call last time by. Mark Martin likewise came on pit road, took 4 tires, topped off with fuel. They packed that thing and got it as full as they could. They feel they're also in a window where they can go the rest of the way. They'll be good to go. And it looks like Dale Jarrett now is ducking onto pit road, as well as Jeff Gordon and Darrell Waltrip and Kyle and Rusty. So everybody's coming. So this should be moving Mark up. In fact, they just radio Mark and told them that here they all come. So they had talked about forcing this to happen. It looks like they might have. They've told Mark to take it easy on fuel mileage. Let's go to Bill Weber.
One car in that pack on pit road belongs to Dale Earnhardt, and he's already in his stall. He will get 4 tires and fuel, and they will hope they will be able to reach the finish. Right side's going on. They'll swing around to the left side. Joe Nemechek's wheels by on his right. Meanwhile, Kenny Wallace returns to the track. 4 tires and fuel for Earnhardt to Jerry Punch.
Right side tires already on the 88 car. Now left side's going on. They have not pulled the string or even looked at the toe in. The left front does look like it's towed in, though, slightly. And Jarrett down the lane. Here comes Ward Burton, Jeff Gordon. They will run almost 3 wide trying to exit the pits.
So a case maybe a monkey see, monkey do there with Bobby Labonte and Mark Martin coming in first, and then everybody else thinking that they also had reached their window, so they come in.
Yeah, I think that was the case for those that came in this time around. They felt that they needed to go that other lap before they would be in their window. And
that's the situation. If someone is in their window, they have no choice but to gamble that they can make it, because if Jeff Gordon or some of these guys can't run the prescribed laps, they're still not going to win the race. So they have to go out there and hope they get enough caution flags. They will be able to make it on gasoline.
All right, we have completed 69 laps of this 112-lap race. Under caution, we'll be right back. As you rejoin us, Sterling Marlin has given up the lead to come in for a pit stop. That's going to give the advantage now to Robbie Gordon as Sterling finds his pit stall.
And we heard Tony Glover and Sterling talking about how many more laps they needed to run before Sterling could come in and get to the finish. Obviously, they've reached that magic mark. So they will pack the fuel cell as full as possible. He'll have 4 fresh tires and something else this team has told me. This car is very, very good on long runs. And Sterling Marlin is looking at a long run.
Go on. Back. Man, back.
See, I mean, you know, they're letting Sterling Marlin go out there, and he's made a pit stop, and yet he's going to go behind cars that are in the lead.
How's all that working? I thought you were supposed to stop and go to...
That's exactly right, Sterling. I thought you were supposed to stop.
Let you blend in.
That's what they're
questioning, too. Save as much fuel as you can, buddy. Save it.
All right, let's take a look at the Bud race recap. Robbie Gordon has just gone into the lead, so he really hasn't registered a lap yet because he hasn't come around. We've had 5 lead changes, 3 caution periods totaling 15 laps, and the average has been held down because of that to a little over 71 miles an hour. Jeff Gordon has led the most laps. Sterling Marlin the second most amounts, with Grissom, Jarrett, Darrell Waltrip, and now Kendall also having led this race. Only 3 cars out of competition: Jeff Burton, Terry Labonte, and Jerry Nadeau, who started outside row number 1. Well, Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN at 8 o'clock tonight has the New York Yankees taking on the New York Mets. Tino Martinez leads the best team in baseball, and Mike Piazza looks to help the crosstown rivals get a victory. 8 o'clock tonight on ESPN. It's Sunday Night Baseball, the Yankees against the Mets. Stay with us. We'll be right back for more live coverage of the St. Mark Kragen 350. You watch the cars move down into the new part of the racetrack to shoot from the Pennzoil Copter Cam. That's the new part of the racetrack that is being used for the first time here in this NASCAR Winston Cup race. We are under caution because of an incident that occurred just before the start-finish line, and it occurred on lap number 63.
And it's between Jeff Burton and Dale Jarrett. We see him make contact, and Burton spins and backs in the fence, and we can see where the wall is cracked, and that's what they're trying to do now, is fix the retaining wall.
And they're almost finished with the work. They've gotten 2 temporary concrete barriers to reinforce the broken part. Well, Robbie Gordon has made a pit stop, and now Ricky Rudd is the leader of the race, with Jimmy Spencer in second, followed by Jeff Bodine, then Tom Hubert, and Rick Mast would be in 5th position at the moment. There you see they're still working on that wall.
Yeah, they brought a 3rd support in there. That should do it, I believe. Yeah, it looks like they're happy with that.
Yeah, Bob, there's something going on that I don't understand. Is some guys have made some pit stops, and they're going back on the racetrack through the stop sign. The stop sign has been green, but Jerry, how are they getting in front of these other cars that were on the racetrack?
Well, Benny, the way it's been explained to me down here by one of the NASCAR officials is that the rule is different on road courses versus an oval track or a short track or a super speedway, where they hold everybody who is pitted until the entire field has passed by. What they do on a road course, I'm being told, and we saw Jimmy Cox a moment ago hold the green sign out and let guys go back on the racetrack, is that once a pace car has gone by and you've pitted, as you exit pit road, you're allowed to go down pit road at speed and blend into the field where you can blend in. That's what I was told they're doing here, and apparently from looking at the green sign, facing a lot of guys who just pitted, that's what was happening.
Okay. Thanks, Jerry. That's something different.
I still don't understand it, but I appreciate it. Bill Weber?
Okay, well, we talked talked a little bit a few minutes ago while you guys were in commercial, but this is one team that's pretty upset about all this. Steve Neal is talking it over with NASCAR, and he just listened to Jerry's explanation and leaped over that wall saying, that's not true, that's not true. So he's talking it over with a NASCAR official that's in his pit, and now he's going to get some help from the Prime Star guys. So they're pretty upset. Basically what they feel is they're losing track position here in a situation where they shouldn't.
That's what we're talking about, is track position.
And normally on oval tracks, certainly the field has to go by before you can go out if you make a pit stop during a caution play. And here they're allowing them to blend in. And so it's not as big a disadvantage as we thought it might be.
Well, I mean, it's a simple interpretation. If they're not ready to do that, then they don't have enough people in place or something. You can do it with the transponders on the cars. Easily. They got a lady down there writing numbers down. They what?
I mean, we're talking like 6 spots so far we lost.
Yeah.
James Ince said they just lost 6 spots.
And they said on TV that they were told, which they told them wrong, that you can blend in. You can't blend in. Pull alongside, and then you got to get back in behind who didn't pit.
I mean, if you can blend, I'm going to bring him in and blend right down there and pick up 10 spots.
If you can blend, you go to Martinsville and pit.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a very good point. He said, if they can blend, I'll bring him in, let him just stop and go down pit road and blend into the leader. Yeah, I mean, that's a very good point. Do it. Yeah.
Wow, this is going to get interesting.
What happened to Watkins Glen?
Bit of controversy here.
At Watkins Glen, you used to have to stop. And remember, Bodine ran in the back of the two? Okay, that's when they said, we're not going to have you stopped on pit road. We're going to let you pull out on the racetrack. And then we'll get with scoring and pull you back. And that's what they're doing, but they're not telling you where to go. And they know where to go. It's poor. I mean, it's just, they got transponders on the cars.
Steve, obviously you're clearly disappointed with the situation.
Yeah, well, you know, a couple, 3 years ago at Watkins Glen, first thing is the pace laps are real strung out here road course racing, okay? So typically you can make a pit stop before the last guy is done going by on the racetrack. Well, at Watkins Glen a couple years ago, I think the 7 car ran in the back of the 2 because they had to stop at the end of pit road. So after that, they said, well, don't stop at the end of pit road. Go ahead and blend in alongside of who's ever out there. Just send them off pit road where they're not wrecking on pit road and blend in, and then scoring will get back to you and tell you who you got lined up behind. But that's the rule, and that has been the rule, and they're working real hard in the tower now to understand who's doing what. But it's a tough call because we're losing. We did a real good thing by pitting early and getting our fuel. We knew people would come behind us. We would have track position on them. And we're sitting here with 5 race teams that have done the right thing, and these guys that waited a little bit longer, they've actually made up spots on us. So naturally, we're frustrated about it. But we have confidence in David Hoots and the guys up there, and if not, we'll just go in there and kill them.
I was wondering where the punchline was coming. They're starting to move some guys around. Let's go to Jerry.
The subtlety of it all. Well, let me show you down here. We're going to get a camera shot from our pit camera and show you why they do what they do here at Sears Point. What's been explained to me, now I talked to Jimmy Cox, who is the stop sign man, and Jimmy says, you see the curvature there in the pits? He can't see the cars coming because of the way the pits is curved. So if he just sees 4 or 5 guys come flying around the corner and he throws the stop sign up, there's a good chance that 2 or 3 of them are going to pile into each other. So that's done in an essence of safety. They let them blend in, and as you heard Steve Neal say a moment ago, the idea is to get them sorted out on the racetrack. They do not stop them here because of visibility and primarily because of safety.
That ain't right.
Well, NASCAR is reviewing this. Gary Nelson and Mike Helton were down there at the wall repair, but now they're back up into the tower, and they are reviewing the situation, and maybe we will have some positions changed because of it. In any case, some people are really upset down on pit road. We have just gone green here at Sears Point. Cars race up the hill. Turn number 2. Ricky Rudd is the leader of the race. He has led only one other lap in 1998. That was at Dover. Jeff Gordon trying to gain positions here. He's alongside Dale Jarrett. This green flag came out while there was a lot of heated discussion going on in the pit area and a lot of angry people.
And here we go in the main squeeze, and Rudd still maintains the lead over Jeff Bodine. Rick Mast was on tail end of the lead lap just a few laps ago. Well, about 2 hours ago. He's now running in 3rd spot.
This is the 6th time that Ricky Rudd has led a race here at Sears Point. Jeff Bodine, Nigel Mast, we'll call him Nigel because that's what they put on the car, and then Tom Hubert is in 4th, looking for 3rd.
Yeah, he's trying to make an outside pass. That didn't work while Rick Mast was trying to move inside Jeff Bodine to take over 2nd. That didn't work either.
Bobby Hamilton got by Tommy Kendall going down in that corner. I might have spoke too soon.
Got by for a little bit, and now Kendall's got the advantage.
Steve Grissom just spun off the track. He's been among the leaders. In fact, he led 8 laps of this event.
Well, that's too bad. This is up in the chute. Looks like he and the 42 car might have made some contact because I see the 42 of Nemechek trying to get his car under control as Grissom spins and then continues on.
Fell all the way back to 33rd position, however.
Tommy Kendall looks back at Bobby Hamilton. Kendall was able to maintain that 5th position.
Hamilton's still working on it, though, breathing down his neck as they head into the S's once again. First Plus field summary shows you how the manufacturer's battle is going. And now here's Hamilton to the inside, and he's going to take the position from Kendall.
And John Andretti trying to move in there as well. Will he be able to make the pass? He's still up beside of him. Nope, he can't do it.
There comes Mark Martin right behind Bobby Labonte. This Labonte, the Interstate Batter's 18, the green car. Mark Martin in the 6th Battling car. And Mike Skinner's up in 10th spot, the Lowe's Chevrolet.
And Joe Nemechek is in the pits. Bill Weber.
He got jostled around a little bit in traffic, got some sheet metal pushed in on the left front tire, but more critically, the car apparently is hung in 3rd gear. They went under there, knocked it out. Joe says, I got it now. We're in 1st, and here we go.
Okay, he should stay in the lead lap. The leader's coming down through the S's now, so he should be able to stay in the lead lap pretty comfortably.
Leaders coming down toward turn 11 once again with Rudd just ahead of Jeff Bodine, who won this race back in 1993.
John Andretti tries that move again, and this time it works as he gets by Tommy Kendall.
John Andretti has a lot of experience on road courses. He won his first IndyCar race on a street circuit in Australia, and of course has been involved in a lot of sports car racing at Le Mans and Daytona. Now on board with Mark Martin there for a moment in 9th position.
Pretty good gap back to the 26 car of Johnny Benson. Benson back in 11th spot, and that's who Steve Meal was complaining about or arguing about a while ago, was the Johnny Benson automobile. He's the team manager on that automobile. We see Hamilton diving on the inside of Hubert. And Andretti says, make those holes and let me follow.
Boy, Hamilton's got a good move going into that hairpin turn. He's able to outbrake him going in there. Picks up a position about every lap.
And Hubert has stopped.
Yes, he has stopped. About to start finish line. Now, if he doesn't have reverse, the car is running.
He's on the racetrack, so if he can't get going.
He's right there at pit exit, or a little beyond that, actually.
Yeah.
Just beyond the start-finish line, but the car doesn't look like it's going to move.
Sure doesn't. We see the Bradford White water heater was running in about the 5th or 6th spot.
Had a good run today, but looks like it may be over. Jerry, what's going on?
Well, we're with Kurt Rohrig, who owns the car number 19 that Tommy Hubert was having such a great run in. Kirk, what happened?
Yeah, unfortunately, the drivetrain broke. We're out of it now. It was a great run for Tom. It's only his second Winston Cup race. We run into the top 5. We were worried about our pit stops. This Bradford White Yellow Freight team did a fantastic job. This team's first Winston Cup race. We kept them in the top 5 all the way to the end of this deal. So I'm real proud of our guys. We'll be back.
Tough break for Tommy Hubert.
And NASCAR has no choice now but to throw the caution flag because that car is not in a good area. It's on the racetrack, and it'll have to be gotten off the track. Back in just a moment. Speed World is at Sears Point Raceway today for the St. Mart Kragen 350 NASCAR Winston Cup race. World Cup Soccer continues on ESPN tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Eastern. Germany against Mexico. And then the second matchup kicks off at 2:30 p.m. That's the Netherlands against Yugoslavia. World Cup action beginning tomorrow at 10 o'clock on ESPN. Still under caution, Hubert's car is off the racetrack in a safe area, and we assume that they'll go back racing next time around.
I think that's a safe assumption. And we wondered if some of those cars that didn't pit the last time, Bob, might come in this time and pit, because they should be within their fuel window. But Ricky Rudd did not. Jeff Bodine did not. Rick Mast did not. But I believe we heard pit reporters say earlier that Rick Mast had topped off and felt he could go the rest of the way, so maybe Rudd and Bodine feel the same way.
And you know, yes, in the happy hour, the practice we covered, that last hour of practice, Ricky Rudd practiced most of that hour on used tires, well-worn tires, and it might prove to be an asset this late in the race.
We thank the Pennzoil Copter Cam for its overhead shots. Ricky Rudd, the leader of this race at the moment in his 610th NASCAR Winston Cup start. Welcome back to Sears Point Raceway in Sonoma, California. Special thank you today to Racing Electronics and every NASCAR Winston Cup race. They provide the communications that we hear among the drivers, the spotters, the crew chiefs. And we really appreciate being able to do that because you can hear some very interesting things once in a while. Thanks, Racing Electronics. Green flag waves. We're back to competition at Sears Point.
Big break to go check. You know, he made that unscheduled pit stop. Now he's caught up to the field as we go racing again up the hill.
1989 winner Ricky Rudd still leads over Jeff Bodine, Rick Mast, Bobby Hamilton, and John Andretti now has worked his way up to 5th place. Then Bobby Labonte, Tom Kendall, Mark Martin, Mike Skinner, and Johnny Benson, the top 10.
And Ricky Rudd trying to extend a long winning streak. Won a race every year for the last 15 years.
And of course, the last race he won is at the... Oh, and Dale Jarrett is off course. Dale Jarrett off course momentarily, but losing lots and lots of positions.
I believe there's something wrong. Either a flat.
I think the right rear tire is flat.
Right rear tire is flat. So this will be a costly situation for him as far as the points are concerned. Because there's still 33 cars on the lead lap. We might set a record here today for cars on the lead lap.
Yep.
And there we see DJ going to the pits.
This track, Ned, does hold the record for most cars on the lead lap at the end of the event. That was in 1995. There were 29. So, yeah, we're on record pace. Jerry Dale's coming in.
Bob, 35 miles an hour. Dale Jarrett brings the car in, and they will go ahead and top it off in fuel, even though he could make it on fuel. Right rear tire flat. DJ going off in some of the gravel. We were listening to some of the conversations here. It's a long, long way down pit road, and finally he brings the car to a halt. The good thing about pitting on a road course is usually you won't lose a lap, although it took him a while to get here. Right side tires on. They will go ahead and put left side tires on it. They topped it off in fuel. Left front on, left rear on. The leaders are coming down through the S's in turn 10. He's going to have to hustle. He is down and away as Rudd heads for turn 11.
Well, he's able to get back and stay in the lead lap, so. As he leaves the pits and goes up towards turn 2, pretty soon we'll be seeing Ricky Rudd come around this corner to complete yet another lap. There you see Rudd come by.
Oh, here comes Andretti trying to take the 4th spot from Rick Mast. Mast holds on. Bobby Hamilton has moved to 3rd.
Accelerate down the new part of this racetrack, the chute. And then the chute narrows down to the S's. Rudd putting a little distance on Jeff Bodine as Jeff Bodine right now gets some heavy heat from Bobby Hamilton, the Kodak car.
Now, Hamilton's been making his pass coming into turn 11. Let's see if he can do. He's close enough now on Bodine maybe to make that move. Let's see if he can. There he goes. He's going to try it. He jumped right in there.
Bodine tried to squeeze him out, but he got it. And look at John Andretti smoked the tires.
Yeah, he was about to be 3 wide there. And he really had to smoke those tires.
And Mark Martin's been able to get by Bobby Labonte. To put Mark Martin up to the 6th spot.
Mark Martin has had a fast race car all day long. He just has not been able to get the right track position for him.
Jeff Gordon, meanwhile, is back in 10th position, and Rusty Wallace is in 11th. Jeff Burton re-enters the race. 21 laps down.
Well, he can certainly pick up a couple of positions, especially the 19 car that's out of the race. Might be the only position that he'll pick up unless somebody else goes out here pretty quickly.
And every position is important because it means maybe some points for the standings. He came into this race 8th in the point standings, Jeff Burton did, and Ward Burton is off course.
And he's just sitting there, and he's not that far off the racetrack. And we see a battle for the lead as Hamilton goes on the inside of Rudd and takes the lead.
Bobby Hamilton has just been outstanding today.
And this could bring out a caution flag.
No caution yet for Ward Burton's car.
Bobby Hamilton's best road course finish in 12 events, 14th. That happened here in 95. And now Rudd tries to get it back and drives off course momentarily.
And you saw that caution. That's a corner flag.
Yep.
So that portion of the racetrack is under caution because of Ward Burton's car.
Bobby Hamilton's average finish in road course races 27, but he's in the lead. Napa Field summary showing you that manufacturer's battle, which continues to be an exceptional one as Ford has a 2-point advantage on Chevrolet. Now you see the Ford leaderboard with Rudd the best in second.
Hamilton his car seems to be so good down the S's portion of the racetrack, and especially through turn 11. And we see Rick Mast trying to get on the inside of Jeff Bodine, also trying to block that move by John Andretti.
And the caution is going to come out once again. They have to get Ward Burton's car in a safer spot.
And I wonder who won that race to the line between Andretti and Rick Mast.
It was pretty close.
Looks like Andretti might have won it, but we're at a different angle here.
Yeah. In any case, the caution is out once again for the 5th time this afternoon at Sears Point Raceway. ESPN Speed World coverage of the St. Mart Kragen 350 from Sears Point being brought to you by AC Delco Automotive Parts. AC Delco, if you're not asking for it, you're asking for it. And by Miller Lite, who reminds you that whenever you feel good, it's Miller time. Boy, they packed some people in here today, didn't they?
Boy, huge crowd here in the Sonoma Valley this afternoon. Watch the NASCAR Winston Cup. And Mark Martin's on pit road. John Kernan.
Mark Martin apparently he's got a little contact on the left front. They're going to have to pull out the left front fender, but he apparently got on the brakes a little too hard. Flat spotted his tires is what he and Jimmy Finney have been talking about on the radio. Car vibrating very much, and so they've decided to be safe, come in and take on 4 tires. Let's go down to Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, 33-year-old Tommy Huber did a whale of a job today. Tommy, only your second start. You qualified 10th, quickly ran to 4th, and stayed in the top 10 all day until it was over. What put you out?
I didn't get to hear all you said. We were having a good day. It was great for a new sponsor, Bradford White, coming on board with Kurt Rourke Motorsports and the Ford Taurus. Pro Motor did a great job with the motors. We're just kind of riding there. I abused the tires there early, and figured out what I needed to do to try to last a little longer. And we got kind of off on pit stops, but it put us back up front here. And I think we had a pretty strong car to keep up with them at the end there. But I think the rear end come out 11 there, going through the gears, and it's just a shame. But the guys did a great job. They worked their butts off to get this car done. It's our Michigan car that we swapped over, and it's just a good deal for Bradford White and everything. Just sorry we couldn't be there at the end.
People may not know, you're a shop foreman for the truck team for Kurt Rourke, and you got in this car last year, and put it in the field, only your second start. Will this performance today put you in this car for other events in 98?
Well, I don't know, but the main thing out of this weekend is I hope between Bradford White and the other sponsor we had on the car we ran on Saturday, maybe we get a sponsor to do some truck races or bush races, or get a ride with somebody. I work shop foreman for this team now, but the main goal is the drive, so hopefully we'll get something out of it.
Tommy Hubert, an impressive performance today, and guys, you may not be able to tell, but he doesn't get very excited.
In addition to Mark Martin making a pit stop, Joe Nemechek came in, and so did Jeremy Mayfield. And Mayfield now drops back to the 31st position. He was the points leader in the NASCAR Winston Cup Series going into this event. You see the cars slithering up through the S's.
Trying to clean their tires off a little bit, anticipating the green flag when they come down.
They will get the green flag at the conclusion of lap number 88 on lap 89. This is a 112-lap event. Bobby Hamilton, Ricky Rudd, Jeff Bodine, John Andretti, and Nigel Mast. Down to Bill Weber.
That's hard to say, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Now, one car to watch is Ricky Rudd, currently second behind the 4, pitted on lap 51. He's on very old tires. That's what he practiced on in happy hours you guys talked about a few minutes ago. They are contemplating trying to reach the finish. We've had a number of caution laps, and that would help their fuel mileage. Right now, they don't think they can make it, but I said they are thinking about it. We'll see.
All right.
Go, 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 go! Green flag, green flag.
Kendall and Rusty Wallace were side by side there, coming out of corner number 2.
And so was Wally Dallenbach and Johnny Benson. And you see Rusty Wallace trying to get by Kendall. And Kendall's in the 91 car because as we look back from Tommy Kendall's car, the story I'm hearing in the garage here is that Kevin LePage has signed a contract with Jack Roush. And Joe Falk, who owns his 91 car, said, well, if you're going to drive for Roush maybe next week or maybe next month or next year, then I need to find me a driver. So he put Kendall in the car for this race. Is that?
Yeah, worked out a deal with Felix Sabates, who had the first union sponsorship, the 46 car that Kendall was originally scheduled to drive, did not get in the field. So the situation that they worked out brought the first union over, and Kendall in the car. Jerry, add more?
And then I asked Joe Falk this morning, what about Daytona next week, Joe? Who are you going to put in the car then? He looked at me very blankly and said, Doc, I have absolutely no clue. If you have a suggestion, give me a call, will you?
show you a Napa field summary here, and we're going to show you how all of this juggling has affected the point standings. It's been up and down for Jeremy Mayfield. He was in, then out, then in. Now he's out again. And Bobby Labonte moving up a spot as of right now. Terry Labonte down 2. These point positions changed just about every lap. John Andretti looking pretty good here as he pursues Jeff Bodine.
He had a run on Jeff Bodine going into turn 2 just a moment ago, but not quite able to make the pass. John Andretti's been pretty good into turn 11 as well. Let's see this time if he's going to try to outbrake. Well, he's going to try to go on the outside.
Oh,
and some contact.
Jeff Bodine and
fucking break.
Collide.
And a lot of evasive action taken there. Now Bodine gets going. Now Rudd gets going. So I guess there'll be no caution. Nope, don't see one.
Nope, everybody's...
Well, that was a costly situation for them.
Yes, it was.
Damage to that 7 car, the Jeff Bodine's car, the Phillips car, some heavy damage. And you can see where he ran in the corner, found of Rudd's car. Some damage to that car, pretty heavy damage as well.
And there they are right back on the racetrack together.
So now it's Bobby Hamilton, John Andretti, Rick Mast, Jeff Gordon to 4th, and Rusty Wallace to 5th. As Rudd and Bodine will fall in here at the back of the field. There is brother Brett passing by. Brett is back in 35th position, 2 laps down. Here it is.
Wow.
Close call for Bobby Labonte.
Man, I'm telling you, I guess Jeff was just trying to beat the 43 car in.
He was down pretty low getting into that corner. Of course, you go in there low, but you normally go high then low, but he was down pretty low, and Rudd had taken his line that he normally would come in there and right down in front of Bodine as he came down through there, and wham.
From Rudd's onboard camera. What happened, huh?
Wow. So how'd I get in this position?
Yeah.
There, Kyle's got a lot of damage to his car.
And we see the smoke off the right front fender where the fender's rubbing the tire.
That's not good. That's rubbing pretty hard.
I'm going to have to pit because everything's rubbing right now.
There you hear Kyle saying he's going to have to pit because everything's rubbing right now.
I guess he and Dick Trickle got together down in turn 11 about the same time as Rudd and Jeff Bodine were getting together.
All right, here comes Bobby Hamilton now. Got a pretty sizable lead here on John Andretti. As now 92 laps are about to be completed at Sears Point Raceway. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Sears Point. Ricky Rudd was looking for a strong finish here, but got collected up in that incident with Jeff Bodine. He's just pitted for 4 tires and some fuel. They pulled the sheet metal away. He's back out on the track in front of the leaders, but he is at the end of the lead lap and gave up several precious positions.
You see Linda, how very disappointed that she is because of what's happened. Never see the 7 car, Jeff Bodine going in the corner. Ricky Rudd, the 10 cars going in the corner, taking his line, and boom. Jeff Bodine just drives into that right rear quarter.
And damaged both of them very, very heavily. We're down now to 31 cars on the lead lap. So we still could set a record if all of those still stay on the lead lap. There's Ricky Rudd. He is in 31st position, but he's almost a lap down. You see the leaders coming right there.
Not too much racetrack between Rudd and the leader, Bobby Hamilton. Let's give a call to Ron Hornaday, who's been up and down in the standings, currently listed in 16th position. He's right behind Bill Elliott.
Yeah, on the first lap or two, he got knocked into the tire barrier, got back out, stayed on the lead lap, and now up there in the middle of the pack, as you say, in 16th position.
And again, this is the Tim Beverly team that was once owned by Darrell Waltrip.
Bill Elliott there, moving up on Wally Dallenbach in the 50 car.
Dallenbach 14th. Elliott is in 15th. And another car making a pit stop.
Well, Bob, Jeff Bodine really had to come on in because the spotters kept telling him there were tires rubbing around the racetrack. I didn't want to take a chance on him cutting a tire at these speeds here. It's an awfully fast road course and maybe going over the tire barrier and hurting himself and destroying a race car. They came in, they're putting tape on it, they're putting bungee cords on it. They were going to push down on the front of the hood and make sure there weren't any other tire rubs anywhere else. Now they're still working, Pete Peterson and the crew now trying to make sure that the ductwork is intact so the brakes stay okay. They pull some of the sheet metal away and he puts it back in gear and slowly moves back to turn 1.
Well, this battle back for 14th, 15th, and 16th is among the best on the racetrack right now. Dallenbach, Elliott, and Ron Hornaday.
This is Dallenbach, 14th, Elliott in 15th, Hornaday in 16th. And see Jeff Gordon closing right on the back of John Andretti. That's for second spot.
Well, he is there.
Jeff led 37 laps previously, and because we've had so many leaders, he has now claimed the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps. The second highest number of laps led by both Mark Martin and Ricky Rudd, who were in front for 14 circuits.
In the S's. They'll be getting turn 11 in just a minute. We'll see if Jeff Gordon, as well as John Andretti's been getting into turn 11. We'll see what Jeff can do with him there.
Yep. Andretti has made several passes going into 11, but now will somebody pass him? See a little damage on the left front of Gordon's car there.
Here he goes. Jeff Gordon trying to take second from John Andretti. He'll get the job done.
And there's a leader not that far in front of Jeff Gordon. And he's got a lot of time to go. 17 laps to go.
Well, Gordon led early in the race, and then in the middle part was back between 6th and 20th. And now all of a sudden he's back up to second spot. But about 1.3 seconds behind the leader, Bobby Hamilton. Gordon shaved the interval on Hamilton from 2.7 to 1.8 from laps 90 to 94.
And look at that 73.6. Very, very good lap by Jeff Gordon.
Well, there's still a lot of racing to go. We've got 16 more laps of competition here. Right now, it's Bobby Hamilton on top of the standings. Bob Jenkins, Dad Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, Bill Weber, and Dr. Jerry Punch, all with you back at Sears Point as we near the closing stages of this Save Mart Kragen 350 at Sears Point.
And Jeff Gordon closed in 7/10 of a second.
Yep.
That last lap.
He sure did. The Hamilton's last lap was 93.854. Gordon ran a 94.721, the fastest among the top 6. Jeff getting around Jeff Burton. John Andretti remains third, and Rusty Wallace has had a great race, is now in 4th position.
Rusty Wallace started back at 28th spot and is currently running in the 4th spot, and right behind him though, Bobby Labonte, Interstate Batteries Pontiac.
Take a look at another Napa field summary. First of all, we showed you the manufacturer's battle, and Johnny Benson in turn number 11 almost took out his teammate Ted Musgrave, but Benson is back running once again.
Lost a lot of spots.
Drop down to 19. continues to close in a little bit each lap.
Down to less than a second now. Well, we also have to take our hat off to Kenny Irwin, who has never raced here at Sears Point in the NASCAR Winston Cup event. He has fought his way back from a couple of spins to now run in 7th position. He's been down as low as 38th, and he currently is in his best position of the race.
And we saw that damage to the left rear of the car when Kenny Schrader ran the back on going in turn 11, and Irwin spun, able to come back from that and still be. And Jeff Gordon, he came off that corner. I thought he was going to take a look, but he's still got a few car lengths to make up. He's now down to 1/3 of a second. I'll tell you how far he is, folks. You can see it.
It's a matter of car lengths. Well, coming up next, racing to the Breeders' Cup, the Hollywood Gold Cup. That will be coming up immediately after our coverage of this NASCAR Winston Cup event, racing to the Breeders' Cup. Okay, we watch Jeff Gordon as he continues to close in on Bobby Hamilton in his last 6 road course races. Jeff Gordon won at Watkins Glen, had a 2nd, 2/3, a 4th, and a 6th. Average finish, 3rd. Meanwhile, that number 4 car has had 5 top 10 finishes in the 9 previous events here at Sears Point. 4 for Ernie Irvin, including a win in '92, and Sterling Marlin finished 7th in this car in 1995, or at least for this team. Well, now we see Robbie Gordon and Dale Earnhardt running together in 11th and 12th position, and right ahead of them is Mike Skinner, who's done an outstanding job today in the top 10.
He is indeed in 10th place. A lot of cars running right in this pack together, battling for those positions. And here's Gordon in the cat car. Looked down on the inside of Earnhardt, but that didn't work. And Earnhardt looking on the outside of his teammate, Mike Skinner. Let's see how that's going to play out. Well, Earnhardt keeps the position from Gordon.
Earnhardt continues to pursue Mike Skinner, his teammate. Well, we've got 11 more laps to go. Actually, a little over 10 now as the leaders approach the S's. Want to remind you that coming up next, racing to the Breeders' Cup, the Hollywood Gold Cup, coming up right after our coverage of this Save Mart Kragen 350 at Sears Point Raceway. We'll take a break and be right back with more action. The new leader is Jeff Gordon, who was able to pass Bobby Hamilton in turn number 11 last lap. But another Gordon, Robbie, has a problem. Look at the right rear on that car, Bill Weber.
Yeah, he's got a problem on the right rear and apparently has a brake problem as well, but he also radioed his crew. He thinks the rear end fell out. So he was coming to pit road, and now he's going to try and limp back to pit road. And now the 4 and the 24, and Jeff Gordon takes the lead away from Bobby Hamilton, so they swap it back and forth.
Yeah, they sure did. Bobby had it for just an instant, but Jeff is able to get back around him. Originally, this is how Jeff took the advantage.
A couple of laps ago, turn 11, heavy braking. They make contact. We see the cars get together. We see the smoke. Jeff Gordon goes by, takes the lead.
And they bump a little bit again after that. But then Gordon leads for, what, another lap before that last incident that we saw coming into turn 11. So we wonder if Bobby Hamilton will try it again when he get back to that position.
Well, it sure is affording us some good. I don't know, is that the left front fender rubbing, Benny?
Looks to me like it's rubbing just a little bit, especially on the right-handers.
Next time around, he'll have 7 laps to go. Putting a little bit of daylight between himself and Bobby Hamilton. Jeff Gordon, the hometown favorite. He was born and grew up not too far from here in Vallejo, California. Just within a stone's throw.
And Bobby couldn't get on the inside of that time, but he got close. Ooh, maybe a little too close. Just a little bit of a nudge there.
$104 laps complete now. 7 more to go in the Save Mart Kragen 350.
That was 112.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we got 8 laps to go. Sorry about that.
He better not stop 7 laps.
Be a lap short.
See, Bobby Labonte's been able to get by Rusty Wallace, take over that 4th spot. Looks like he might be closing out on the 43 car of John Andretti.
We're down now to 29 cars on the lead lap, so that would tie the record that was set here a number of years ago, if it remains this way.
Mark Martin and Tom Kendall are battling for the 9th position.
Mark Martin has made a great run after making that pit stop. He was back in about 29th position, and he has come back up through there now, battling for 9th.
And Dale Earnhardt is also right there.
All right, let's try this again. Into the corner.
Bobby's going to try him on the outside.
Oh, he got the corner too hard that time. Now he knows that won't work.
Yeah. Well, maybe that was a little deeper. Checking Gordon out. He thinks that maybe Jeff will protect that side the next time it goes in there. But I don't think that'll be the case. Jeff will protect that inside.
But in any case, Bobby Hamilton has given this car quite a run this afternoon.
Boy, has he ever.
And Jeff Bodine is parked after having a very good day early on. But that car has stopped at the exit of the pit area. Well, here's Skinner and Grissom. And Steve Grissom, another guy who's had an outstanding day today. These two guys, well, look at Hornaday.
He got all the way down the inside, almost upset his car. Looked like it was going to turn over there for a minute.
13th, 14th, and 15th right here. And look at the points as of now.
There goes Grissom trying to get on the inside of the 31 car. Can't quite make it.
Okay, go ahead. Turn 11 come the leaders again, Ned. We'll see if Hamilton makes any move this time.
No, it's a little bit too far behind that time to make a move. Bobby Hamilton is driving his heart out. So is Jeff Gordon, but Hamilton, yeah, he's doing everything that he knows to do to keep up. He's just waiting for a little bit to slip.
Bobby's best finish here at Sears Point came in 1995. He was 14th. He was the winner earlier this year at Martinsville, of course.
I'm told it was a transmission on Jeff Bodine's car. And I just want to apologize to Tex Powell in case it wasn't a transmission. He says on a road course, every time I see a car smoke, I say it's a transmission. But I was told it was a transmission, Tex.
Bobby Hamilton's also trying to break a string of bad finishes here. He's finished 16th or worse in the last 7 races. And we see this battle for 14th, 13th, 14th, and 15th continue to rage.
Steve Grissom was able to get by Mike Skinner, take the spot away. So Grissom is now in 13th spot.
The points leader coming into the race was Jeremy Mayfield. He is
19th.
In 19th. Yeah, still on the lead lap, but back in 19th.
Now we see the caution flag waving.
Now we got a car up. Oh, that's Jimmy Spencer, who's way off course.
Wow, is this going to bring out? No.
Looks like he's going to keep it going. Local caution only while they get Spencer back on the track.
Hamilton is hanging right there, isn't he?
He sure is. There's Jimmy. He's gotten going again.
Needs a wash job.
At least the windshield knows where he's going.
Yeah.
Once again through the chute. And we see that smoke once again off that left front tire on Jeff Gordon's car.
Well, Jeff has certainly not been able to pull away from Bobby. After he made that pass, Hamilton is stuck right with him. And in fact, every time they come down into turn 11, you see who's going to come out with the lead.
They pulled away 8.5 seconds over John Andretti.
Andretti has over 2 seconds on Bobby Labonte. Once again, Hamilton, he's able to move in a little bit coming into that corner, but Gordon will get a good traction off of there and take off.
108 laps have now been completed as Jeff crosses the line. Let's see what happened to Jimmy Spencer when he got off course over coming out of the chute or in the chute. Let's see where it was. It was in the chute.
Yep. And we see him in the gravel trap. I tell you, he's lucky the car did not mire up in there and stay there. And he's just about to go in the, he's running over all kinds of signs there.
He sure is.
He wasn't through spinning yet. Rich Bickle.
Well, now Jeff is opening up again, a little bit of daylight between himself and Hamilton.
Bobby might have used up just all of that car that he could use up trying to stay up with Jeff Gordon. As I said, he was driving his heart out, using every bit that he could, and he might have, just abused those tires a little bit, which that's what he had to do.
Yep.
I mean, it was the time to go. If you had anything, keep the pressure on.
There is Rusty Wallace. You already saw John Andretti, Bobby Labonte. And now we see Mark Martin has passed Sterling Marlin for 6th position. And a reminder coming up next, racing to the Breeders' Cup, the Hollywood Gold Cup. There's Rick Mast, who's just had a great weekend.
8th place. There you see.
And we've been calling him Nigel all day because his crew, he almost spun going in the corner. And we see Elliott trying to get on the inside of Earnhardt, and he does it.
Whoa!
Not quite.
And look at Steve Grissom, who's also in there in the fight for that position.
Well, he passed Elliott while he was trying to pass Earnhardt. So put Grissom up to the 11th spot.
How about that?
Great run for Steve Grissom.
Kendall, Hornaday, and Darrell Waltrip are running 13th, 14th, and 15th. And then right behind them in 16th position is Mike Skinner.
And Ted Musgrave, Kenny Schrader, Dale Jarrett's back there. He's been able to get by the 12 car of Jeremy Mayfield.
Moving up to 19th. Now he's working on Schrader. Meanwhile, back up front, it is Jeff Gordon.
He's completed another lap. 2 to go.
Never won here at Sears Point. Finished 2nd last year, but he has 9 top 10 finishes so far in 1998. Has not finished worse than 8th in 7 of the last 8 events.
Getting himself a pretty good cushion now.
Yep, he's really opened it up now. And when he comes around this time, he'll get the white flag. Horse racing coming up next. Stay with us because we're very near the end of this race. Jeff through the S's once again in turn 10. Here's corner number 11. No threat from Hamilton this time. Jeff moves the car out onto the straightaway. He looks at the white flag, indicating one more lap to go on this 1.95 mile course. There's the white flag waving. It's a 3.1 second advantage for Jeff Gordon here on the last lap. Dale Jarrett led 5 laps in this race. He's back in the 18th spot.
Just past Ted Musgrave, moved him up to 17th.
Bill Elliott still trying to pass Dale Earnhardt for 11th position. Battles raging all over this road course, but the concentration right now has to be on Jeff Gordon, who is close to another victory. 2nd place, Bobby Hamilton. Oh, look at Grissom and Kenny Irwin Jr. out there rubbing paint.
That's about for 9th spot. Grissom was able to get by Earnhardt and move into the top 10.
Jeff Gordon enters corner number 11 for the final time this afternoon.
He'll tiptoe through that corner this time. He's got a big enough lead that he doesn't need to push it.
Jeff Gordon wins his 23rd of 83 NASCAR Winston Cup road course races. He won it from the pole position. It's his 6th top 5 in his 11th road course race. He also wins the Winston leader bonus of $10,000 because Gordon will move into the points lead. Jeff Gordon wins at Sears Point. Let's watch Bill Elliott and Dale Earnhardt race to the line here for the 11th position. It looks like Earnhardt is going to take it. Down to John Kernan.
And we're with a very happy crew chief, Ray Evernham. Ray, you guys did a great job. He was patient, and there at the end made his move and pulled away.
He really did. You know, he did a great job all day. He's a tremendous little driver. Shows a lot of patience. We came out here and tested, and he picked gear ratios, and he's just a great driver. And today he did a great job with the transmission rear end. The guys did a great job. You know, I never thanked DuPont, Quaker State, Pepsi enough, and really want to say thanks to them. I'm really excited about this. This is a place we haven't won out. We got to thank God because he makes us, he allows us to do this. But I'm happier than when we won Daytona.
Well, Ray Evernham heading up to victory lane.
It's his second road course win, fourth win of 98, 33rd of his Winston Cup career. Jeff Gordon, the double yellow arrows indicate that he led the most laps, and the single arrows indicate those drivers who led at least one lap. Dale Jarrett finishing down in 15th position. Tom Kendall 16th. There were 29 cars on the lead lap when the checkered flag dropped.
And there you see those that are out and who were laps down.
Again, Jerry Nadeau was taken to the hospital for a checkup after crashing early in the event.
And Jeff Burton picked up 2 spots by going back on the racetrack. 6 points.
Jeff Gordon is the new leader by 40 over Jeremy Mayfield. Mark Martin, Dale Jarrett, and Rusty Wallace complete the top 5. Jeff Gordon heading for victory lane. Well, that's interesting. The race winner has never gone on to win the championship. But Jeff Gordon hopes to break that in 1998.
He'll take his chances. Yeah.
There you see Jeremy Mayfield peeling off behind Jeff, going to his truck while Jeff Gordon hunts for victory lane here at Sears Point. Again, a reminder that horse racing will be coming up here momentarily. Just as soon as we talk to Jeff Gordon to get a few words from him, we'll be switching you to the other kind of racing.
1 horsepower.
Yes. The Rainbow Warriors are already in victory lane as Jeff Gordon has now made his way there. Just another day at the office for Jeff Gordon.
No, not quite. Not quite.
And another win. We heard earlier that he wrapped his hand to prevent blisters from shifting so much.
Oh, man. Awesome.
Happy young man right there.
Yes, sir.
I was talking to somebody who was watched the test out here and said, you can't believe how hard this young man worked to get the car right for Sears Point.
All right, we're standing by for the McDonald's winner's circle as Jeff Gordon going to take a swig of Pepsi and then climb out of the car.
Woo, that's good. All righty.
I think he's about ready.
He wins the 7th road course race for Hendrick Racing. The most all-time in NASCAR Winston Cup competition.
Well, Jeff climbs down and gives Brooke a huge hug, gives a high five to the Rainbow Warriors, Ray Evernham and company for great pit work today, and still high-fiving. Jeff, get a big swig of Pepsi.
You, Jerry.
Okay, high-five me. Okay, great job there. What patience today. Ray was complimenting you on how patient you were with the gear and the transmission, but what a run.
Oh, man, I got to catch my breath. This is a big win for us. You know, we won at Watkins Glen. They got my confidence up to be able to win on the road course, and this is a brand-new car. We came and tested it. You know, there was times when we were really good today and we were out front, and then there was times when
I didn't know what was going to happen. We, had some funky things happen today with cautions and pit stops, and I just got to thank the Lord. I tell you, it's blessing me and this entire team so much with so many great things that I just don't know when it's all going to stop. But I want to thank him every chance I get. And I want to thank DuPont Automotive Finishes and the Chevrolet and Quaker State and Pepsi. And, man, what an incredible day, incredible team. These guys are awesome, these Rainbow Warriors.
Hey, you and Bobby Hamilton mixed it up a little bit with about 10 to go there. You guys were having a brake war going down in turn 11.
There was no war. He could outbrake about anybody. It's just whether or not he can make the turn. I tell you what, Bobby Hamilton's a new road racer out there. I tell you what, he did a great job. I never dreamed he was going to be that tough, and he was good in the areas that I was good. It was really hard to get by him, and I was surprised when I did outbrake him, and then he crowded me down. We touched, we rubbed. Man, there was a lot of fun racing going on out there, and I really didn't know what was going to happen because he drove back by me and he was staying with me, and then I tried to get some space between us and then try to just calm down and be smooth.
Well, Jeff Gordon wins the 10th annual Save Mart Kragen 350 and takes the Winston Cup point lead as Bill Weber is standing by with our second place finisher.
And a great run for Bobby Hamilton. Tell us about that battle with Gordon down the stretch, Bobby.
That was pretty cool, wasn't it?
It sure was fun to watch. How about the drive?
It was, I run my tires plumb in the ground, and I knew I had to. I seen the 43 back there, and I knew I had him at a lot of corners on the racetrack, and I knew I had everybody in the S's, but he was a little better in a couple more corners, and I seen him coming, and I said, well, he's going to have to work to get here. And then when he got by me, I said, he's going to have to work to get by me. I didn't give him anything. We got together a couple times, but that's what's great about racing, Jeff. He knows what hard racing's about. You don't have to worry about any retaliation when it's just an accident. So I had a blast. Just, these guys work hard on everything they do, and I said maybe by the halfway mark of the season we'd start making a turnaround. Hopefully this is it.
Could be second place for Bobby Hamilton to John and John.
John Andretti, of course, a great third-place run for you today, and you're surrounded by, what are these, your bodyguards?
Yeah, every now and then you get in a little bit of trouble and you need some friends, so we brought along some NFL players, but it's great. Today we had the Players Inc. car and the STP football in it, and it was a good run for us. Now I guess we got a new paint scheme coming for Daytona, but I have to get back to the black hood. Black seems to be a good color for me.
Yeah, it sure did. A third-place run for John Andretti. Congratulations, John.
Appreciate it, John.
All right, congratulations to John Andretti, Jeff Gordon. Hey, we have qualifying for the Pepsi 400 coming up on Thursday night on ESPN2. It's at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Yes, qualifying under the lights in preparation for the Pepsi 400, which for the first time will be run at night. In just 60 seconds, we have horse racing coming up for you. Racing to the Breeders' Cup featuring the Hollywood Gold Cup. That coming up in just a few moments. Well, we thank the Pennzoil Copter Cam for its beautiful shots from overhead of Sears Point today. Jeff Gordon wins. Not only does he win the Winston bonus, he gets the 76 challenge, also another 38 grand BP.
I tell you what, Jeff Gordon, as I said just a moment ago, people that were here watching that test said they could not believe how hard he and all his team worked to get that car right for this race when they were here about a month ago testing.
7th career win from the pole position, Jeff Gordon's, and it's Chevy's 7th win of 1998, tying them with Ford for the most victories. Thanks for joining us here today. For Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, Bill Weber, and Dr. Jerry Punch, I'm Bob Jenkins. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.